Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fat Guys on a Little
Steve was
Podcast.
quick today.
I'm your host and co-host, Steve Markey, and always joined by
Charles here.
And this week, we're going to have a look at some new stuff that came out, maybe some anniversaries, maybe some carnival craziness. And I'll explain that.
Carnival craziness?
Yeah, I'll explain that to Charles here in a minute.
We can't talk about carnival food. I'm still on that diet. So.
No, well, so a big thing happened this weekend, Charles. Believe it or not, married 16 years.
Yeah.
You were at the wedding.
Yes.
16
You were
years
together
ago.
for how long at this point?
Probably 2 years before that. So it's
So
been about
18
18 years
years,
total. I guess I was 28 when I got married. Met her at 26. Yeah. So yeah, Jesus.
Wow.
I told Dad, he goes, "I'm so sorry for you." That's what he told me. But I had a nice one. We went and saw John Wick, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Big! You pulled out all the stops. You took her to John Wick.
Got her some flowers. I made her breakfast. I know how much you love
okay.
breakfast. Then we went to John Wick, and then she picked the. What
do you make Michelle on anniversary breakfast? Is it just pure pancakes, like a short
pancakes,
stack?
scrambled eggs, and some bacon.
Oh, okay. So she will eat some protein. And
Yes,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
she will. She's not above that. But no toast. She's not a huge toast.
Oh, I love toast. Toast is delicious.
Well,
Butter toast.
I can't eat a lot of toast and
Yeah,
pancakes.
carbies.
I can have one carb, but not both, and then I'm screwed. So yeah, and then we went and guess. I'll give you three guesses.
Hold on a second. Are you at Aunt Jemima house, or what do you guys get?
Yeah, the Aunt Jemima.
Aunt Jemima.
Yeah,
We're
not
a Hungry Jack house. We get like the bigger. It's like a tub thing. Yeah, it's pretty good.
either or. I don't like. She loves that holiday market out in Canton, and they got those
Yeah.
fancy like maple shaped maple
Oh,
syrups,
geez.
and they're
like
like
legit
$9.
maple syrup.
Yeah,
dude?
we've had. I mean, they're good, but they're not worth the bonus money
Oh,
that they
man.
cost. Speaking of which, we'll talk about an expensive controller. But-
Exactly.
So she picked a restaurant. Charles, you get two picks. What restaurant did my wife pick for dinner?
The Traverse City Pie Company. I don't know.
No, Mexican Fiesta. I know you're shocked.
Jeez. Wow.
And she got the bean and cheese burritos because that's all she.
Yeah, how
ever
much did
gets.
she take home? Because we got to take
She
something
eats
home.
one burrito and half the rice and half the coleslaw. and then
Old
the rest
habits
go.
die hard.
Oh,
man.
my God.
It's so weird.
I told you last week I went out for my mother-in-law's birthday. She turned 71.
DeLuca's.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
And I watched my father-in-law because he had to sit right next to me.
I saw that Courtney's baby showers at DeLuca's, and I laughed.
Yeah,
I was like, "Jeez."
DeLuca's everywhere. Well, it's a good place for baby and wedding showers. I guess it's rather cheap in a big
Got a
area
little
to sit.
hole,
Yeah.
or hall over now.
It's not a bad deal, but to go there for every holiday like the Hensons is a little rough. But he sat there. He had a prime
It's
rib.
decent, like Italian food. It's just
Yeah.
not as amazing as your in-laws.
Yeah, I just don't need to eat it for every
Yeah,
special
that's
occasion.
what I'm saying. It's
I can
not like-
change it up every
Yeah,
once in a
you
while.
don't have A or B restaurant. You want Mexican or Italian.
I
Yeah.
know my mother-in-law is going to get chicken parmesan, and my father-in-law is going to get prime rib.
Prime rib,
They
yeah.
get the same thing every time for 30-plus years. I asked him, I go, do you ever order anything else? He goes, sometimes I get the beef tips if they're out of prime rib, but that very rarely happens, Mr. Steve.
Yeah, but I mean, you're at an Italian joint. Like, bounce
doesn't
around,
like
get the
Italian.
lasagna. Bounce around, get this. Bounce around, get
no,
that.
not him. I got raviolis.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, see, change it up. Like, I'll try this. I don't know.
No. And he gets a prime rib, and I'm watching him do this. He literally cuts a lot of the fat off, so that's like a quarter.
I'm with
of it.
him on that. I don't like fatty cuts of
That's
meat.
not a problem. But then he only eats maybe a third of what's left, and then he perfectly cubes whatever's left over, and that's all he does the whole meal. And he's cubing
He's just
it up.
working on this
Never
like
touches
butchery.
his potato. And then his green beans, this drove me insane. He cut the green beans in half.
What,
Who
like
cuts the
lengthwise or like
lengthwise,
into
yeah.
two,
So
or
they
like
were
the-
long string green beans, and he sat there
Extra
cutting them.
thin,
No, what I
yeah.
know, you eat them like fries, right? You just eat them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he wants a box, and then he takes his cubed.
I
He only
don't
eats a
get-
third of his
I don't
dinner.
Get it, man.
He only
I
eats
don't
a
take
third.
leftovers
And Michelle's
hardly
just like
at
him.
all. I don't take leftovers. You've described the Henson meals
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
and they're pretty they're very regimented, and they're
Yes.
very they're creatures of habit, and they
big
all
time.
do the same thing. It's crazy.
I mean, the Wigingtons like to laugh at us because me and you are always like, the Markies and the franchises and whatever. And I know we're kind of creatures of habit because we stick to restaurants we like or whatever.
I don't know.
But them, they have a system down, and that's what they do. And when that system changes,
Yeah.
they get flustered.
Especially for big events, because it gives you an excuse to go to somewhere else random. You go to
Yeah.
Benihana,
Yeah.
you go to this, you go to that. I mean, pick something different. Jeez.
So there you go, a little look at my 16-year wedding anniversary, which had nothing
Did you
to do
buy
with the
her a
Lucas.
gift?
Well, yeah.
Or
My
is
wi-
John Wick your movie?
No.
passes?
She, my wife's a big. she'll go out and buy a bunch of statues from Hallmark.
Yeah,
and
we know. Your house looks like a Hallmark store.
Yeah, it looks like a
Disney
tchotchke shop
yeah.
in my house. But she'll come home with like 3 or 4 boxes back. This one's for my birthday. This one's for our anniversary.
That's so annoying.
She does that
I hate
a lot.
when but you guys all do. Your whole family does this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Holly has everything trajectoried out.
Yeah, well,
for like,
you know where she gets it from.
it's so weird.
Yeah. So for Mother's Day,
Well, you do it too, because you'll come up to me. Oh, that game I'm getting for my birthday.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll go with the flow at this point. You can't fight the mighty river on your own. It's
man.
like, well, screw it. Just get me mad and give me this.
Yeah, it's like a shopping list.
Yeah,
it's really
like,
odd.
It's how it's been. But I did get her a surprise for Mother's Day. Her and Holly, I think I told you. Nail salon. I got her $80 gift card there, so her and Holly can have.
Did
a
they
mother
go
and daughter.
already?
They're gonna. Well, Holly wanted to wait till end of tennis, and she wants to get these these white or yellow acrylic.
Sure, take your word for it.
I don't know.
Fake nails, basically.
So leading into Holly and Mother's Day and stuff like that. Now, here in Dearborn Heights /Dearborn/Taylor /Downriver, whatever you call it. A big event this weekend was the St. Sebastian Festival.
Now, the rumor has it that's going to be the last one because St. Sebastian is struggling. They no longer have the school. It's just the parish now. The actual school closed.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I mean, apparently the Van Ashes pulled out, and that was like 90% of their enrollment.
Yeah.
So they're having beef. It's a whole big thing. But Heather, who attended St. Sebastian, she's an Arrow, a former St. Sebastian Arrow, and she explained to me that I guess this is going to be possibly the last one for the festival.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, then Holly picked the guy. So Holly texted me during the week, me and Bree and Chloe and someone else want to go to the festival on Saturday. I'm like, do I got to drive you? And they're like, no. I was like, I got to go. Have a good time.
I have to interact?
Yeah.
No.
Here's some cash. Go away, you know.
Yeah.
So come Saturday, I'm outside cutting the grass and not thinking about it. It's about 11 o'clock, I'd say. I look up, there's a minivan in the driveway and a lady waving to me. I thought it was someone, Jehovah's Witness or something.
Yeah. What are you selling?
Yeah, it was Bree's mom there to pick up Holly to go to the carnival. Guess who's still sleeping in her bedroom?
Yeah, but like I thought she needed this iPhone so that she could be super connected to all these friends.
No, she plays beer pong with it.
It's so weird. Like, yeah.
Well, I asked, now she claims, because me and Michelle and I asked her Thursday, do you have a time you're going to the carnival? Oh, no one knows.
Kids, man.
Yeah, no one knows. So we never got a time. Now, she claims Friday night at 10 o'clock at night when I was playing Devil May Cry. Oh, I told you, Dad. I did. I don't. She never said a word. I don't know. Whatever. I know her memory's way better than mine, but I don't remember hearing her say it. So anyways, I go around and kick the bed. She wakes up. Oh, crap. She's getting dressed, runs out the door. Any idea how long they were at the carnival?
I'm going to guess 2-3 hours, maybe?
I picked them up at 10:30 at night.
They went for 10.5 hours to the St. Sebastian Carnival?
Yes.
What did they do that entire time?
Rides.
I thought you said she's got some queasiness to her.
Well, she was smart enough. I told her, drink a lot of water and take 15 minutes between rides.
Oh, so she was pacing herself.
Yeah, she was pacing. But they rode them all, and they rode them through. So $20, you get the bracelet. You can ride as many rides
that's
as
not
you
too
want.
bad, I guess.
So Dad's $20. Let's give her another 20.
She just bought an iPhone.
So basically, all she did was eat carnival food all day.
Oh.
So she had brownies, popcorn.
Oh, my God. Diabetes.
Oh, man. She had the worst. I was like, because I picked her. That's another thing.
So you're riding rides and eating junk food
all day.
All day.
Now, you got to imagine St. Sebastian, all the high school kids are there. So
yeah, I'm sure
all
it's a
her
whole
friends
crew.
show up.
Yeah.
Fatima shows up. They're all there.
There used to be a whole
time.
thing. We used to go up all the time.
Yeah, but for 10 hours? I mean,
I
God,
don't think I went for 10 hours.
that was the longest
It's
I've
not.
ever
It's
seen.
just on the baseball diamond and stuff. It's not a ton of stuff to
It's
do.
like, yeah, there's a Ferris wheel, there's a Turtle World, there's a Gravitron.
Now-
it's like the same rides we rode 30 years ago. You know it's the same ones,
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure it is the same carnies.
Yeah.
But
He's ready to
like-
retire now.
Yeah, exactly. I'll talk about that later at the 401ks.
Yeah.
But if you're older, so Heather's dad used to run the casino tent, like the gambling tent. I can
Scott's
see
mom, I think, is doing that now.
Okay, so Mrs. Bergeron's in there. You know, shout out to her. I mean, Scott's up on the podcast.
Was there, he was there too.
Yeah. So, but her dad used to be, and so I could see being up there doing that all day. But like you said, like doing the rides and the attractions, I don't know if I can eke 10 hours out of that.
That was a long time. There was a lot of talking. But, you know, she said after 3 o'clock it packed. I mean, there was tons of people there. So you had to wait almost 20 minutes to get on a ride.
Really? Wow.
Can you imagine waiting 20 minutes to get on
A carnival ride?
I'd be like,
man?
I'm out. I'm not sitting through this.
I don't want to go to Carnival Ride, period.
I don't want to go to a Carnival. Yeah, it's so.
Dude,
but she had a good time. The funny thing, she got sunburn on the back of her knees.
Wow.
That's where she got the sunburn.
From standing or something like that?
Yeah, well, she coated herself, but she didn't get the back of her knees. So
God
the
forbid
one
there's a spot of that pastiness.
Yeah, that pasty princess gets burnt. So she had a good time. And then, well, of course, so Bree's mom was supposed to come get him. And Fatima.
To pick up, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I was never supposed to come get him.
Mm-hmm.
Fatima is late for everything. She's going to have that quinceanera party, like off of Superstore.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee she's going to be an hour and a half late to her own party.
Okay.
So she shows up with her mom and her brothers and all that. And they were like, well, we don't want to leave so early 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Let's stay longer. Okay, well, Fatima's mom's going to drive us. Okay, so they tell Bree's mom, forget it. We're going to go. Fatima's mom wanted to hang out till midnight there.
At the Saints of... What is going on?
I don't know.
This
is the greatest carnival.
This is the craziest things I've ever heard.
I know.
Who's spending this much time at the carnival?
Oh, I would be insane. I'd be like, I'd walk home at this point. So she, of course, texts me, well, Fatima's mom won't take us home till after midnight. I was like, I'll be there in a minute. So I had to give her the money, and I still had to go get her.
You're on the hook to pick her up and everything.
Oh, man. But she had a good time. It's with her friends. I know this is only and I think we're agreeing she wants to do the driver's ed this summer. So
okay.
We're going to be doing
because it's far different. I was a little bit different than you, who was like they just gave you a license if you worked on a farm when you were growing up. I was a little bit different.
We had free driver's training.
Yeah, through the school. That didn't exist by the time I got through.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy now. There's like stages to it and all. It's pretty intense, man.
I think it's about 300, maybe more, to sign up to do it. And we got to take her to classes every night from 7 to 9. So this is another fun.
She's got to like log hours differently.
Yeah.
And
Well,
stuff.
see, that's what we're going to do. We had the option. We can do it now. And our thought is we could do it now. She get all the training in, and then she can kind of drive on and off of being in Michelle, so she gets more practice by the time her life. Or have it wait till she's 16, then give it all to her, and then try to get her life. We figure she can get more practice this way if she has a longer time.
So this way, we're gonna slowly bring her along, and then when she's about 16, she'll be on her own.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That's our reasoning, anyways. But
okay.
And of course, she's getting her varsity letter for tennis.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's another $350.
Why is it $350 for a varsity letter?
The jacket.
Oh, you're buying the coat? I never got the coat. You got the coat. I never got the coat.
You never got
never got a varsity coat.
The only reason she did tennis is to get that varsity letter, so I'm going to guarantee she wants that coat.
Okay.
She's itching for that coat.
Oh,
this kid has cost me a ton of money.
Dude, man.
Wait till Laura gets older. It's all going to happen to you,
too.
too.
That varsity swimming coat I'm going to buy.
Yeah, with that swimmer logo on the
exactly. She look like the general with all the medals. Yeah, okay.
So hopefully Raven and Holly will be here next weekend. Raven's going to fill us in on what we didn't see this week. Comic-Con, and we'll explain.
She went out there?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
I was wondering if Holly was going to go out there. We're going to have a YouTuber contest between the two of them. Holly claims to be the YouTube icon. Okay. We're gonna put that to the test.
All right.
So I've been researching. I got a quiz.
Their triumphant return is next week.
So now, through my work, I have we belong to TD Ameritrade, and this is my 401k. And what happens
is this your 401k? I thought you had an IRA.
It's an IRA. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so used to everyone saying 401k.
I know. I've gone down a whole rabbit hole.
So what happens is I put I think it's $50 a check, and then Randy matches it, or VR Metro matches it.
Yeah.
And then
he's not a big enough company to offer a 401k. But he can work with you on an individual retirement account or an IRA.
Yes. So that's what I have. And every quarter he issues a check, and we send it in, and then the money goes into my account, and I can either buy funds or I can buy stocks.
Yeah.
I usually put half into a fund. It's called the Great American Mutual Fund. And then I buy individual stocks for the fun of it. I have Disney. I kept it. I used to.
So you're taking half of it and using it as a brokerage account to buy stocks, to buy individual company stocks, and then the other half you're going into a mutual fund, which means
steady.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not all just doing willy nilly.
Yeah. I get you.
And what I did at first, I was listening to idiots like Bert, myself, and I was trying. There was a weed stock, and there was this motorcycle stock, and I just stuck, Disney, AT&T, Ford,
the big companies.
Let's keep it solid, and it seems to be
the nice part
for me.
too is if you get in what I've learned as Steve's kind of getting around to, I've kind of dipped my toe into that investment stuff with this Robinhood app.
Yes.
So what the Robinhood app is, so Steve has a TD Ameritrade account that he works through his work with the IRA. This Robinhood app is a brokerage account that you can open that you can then purchase different stocks in that brokerage account for no fees. So what's really neat about it is if you're a blue collar guy like I am, and you know what I mean, just want to kind of see what this is all about, you can do this with this Robinhood app without a lot of barrier to entry. So in other words, you can put as low as like $50 and buy a handful of stocks and then see if you can make it into $51 or make it into $52 or whatever you wanted to do. The cool part about it is this Robinhood app allows you to do it without much risk as far as like, you know, $6 a trade and all this kind of stuff. It's pretty much an app that you link to your account and then you actually invest that way. It takes the money directly out and allows you to then buy stocks. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing this for about a week and a half now, and it's exciting times. It's fun because I talked to Steve about it, and Steve was talking to me. We were kind of comparing notes of what he's got that does well for him and what I do. And I'm not a risk taker. I'm just not. I prefer to be sound in a lot of my stuff. I'm not going to be out here, like you said, buying weed stocks and all this kind of stuff.
At first, that's what I tried.
That gambling is not for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to take it and just roll it onto the casino. So what I did was I invested in a lot of. I also opened up a Vanguard account, very similar to your TD Ameritrade, where it allows you to purchase index funds and ETFs or exchange traded funds. Those, what they are is the two that I invested in are based on the entire stock market. There are a bunch of from all these different sectors. So as the stock market goes up, this fund then goes up. So it's a little bit more solid. You're basically you through this particular Vanguard account, you're picking as the stock market as a whole or the S&P 500 as a whole. And that's what I've been choosing to do. So I opened up a Vanguard account, and then I opened up a Robinhood account, the Robinhood app, just trying to play around with not a crazy amount of money, but definitely just trying to get introduced. And the big thing, like I said, with the Robinhood stuff is if you ever were curious, it's a really low barrier. You can take $100 and see if you can make it into $102, or if you lose it down to 90, you know what I mean? You're not losing your house, I guess is what's nice about it. And I just wanted to talk to people about that today. The other thing I want to talk about, and Steve made fun of me a long time ago, is like if you're purchasing. So I've gone down a whole precious metals account way a long time ago. One other thing, real quick, back to the Robinhood app. You can also buy Bitcoin through the Robinhood app. Oh, okay. That is kind of nice. So if you ever were curious about how cryptocurrency works,
keep saying app. They don't have a website you can go.
There's
through?
not. It's all through the app, and they do that to draw on the millennials. Is what they're trying to do. Okay. The one thing I'll tell you is it's a really robust app, and that's the one nice thing about it. They have a gold version where they give you like, you know, insight.
Why can't they have both though? You know,
I don't know.
TD Ameritrade has both.
The big thing about the Robinhood app is, like I said, hooking those millennials, those younger kids. Like, hey, look, you don't want to sit down at the computer with Grandpa Steve and do. They're just on their iPhone wheeling and dealing.
Why would you want a bigger screen?
Yeah, exactly. I will tell you this though, the app is super nice. Like, it'll tell you what you paid on average for your individual stocks and where they're at as of that time and stuff. I'm a huge fan of that Robinhood app, and I would tell Steve, just going forward, it depends on all this stuff comes down to everyone's got their money in your pocket, or their hand in your pocket rather. Mm-hmm. They're all trying to nickel and dime you with fees. It's very similar to like cord cutting stuff. All these brokers and all this kind of stuff are just trying to take a little bit of money. Hey, we'll do you some stuff, but just give me $6, give me $3. And if you start looking at it, all that crap really adds up. And that Robinhood app has none of that, which is really cool. But so back to the precious metals stuff, I just wanted to tell people again, so there's a handful of websites that are out there. The worst one on the planet is don't buy any precious metals. And I mean by precious metals is gold, silver, physical gold and silver. Unobtainium from Avatar. Yeah, if you want to open up a third world planet, you can, you know. But the point is, never buy this stuff off eBay. eBay, that you're playing a complete retard tax, or I shouldn't say retard.
I'm gonna have to cancel my last order then.
Yeah, there's a great
things I bought on
there's a great website that's out there called Provident Metals that exists, and you can link. You send them an electronic check, and then they'll actually send you the products. I'm all down a whole rabbit hole. I own physical copper, physical silver, physical other stuff. Gold? I don't want you to rob my house. Let's just say it's fun. And, you know, I just wanted to lecture
a sack
people.
Of diamonds, ladies.
Yeah, exactly. I got my Cougarans and all that kind of stuff.
Now, the MESPs, let me guess, Michigan Education Savings Plan?
Yeah, those are fantastic. And I try to lecture a lot of people at work these are a way to save for your kids' college. There's two different forms of it. There's basically a form where you can invest in the stock market and set some money aside for your kid. And then the other one is you can also buy credits at a local university at today's prices.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing if you've got kids, because the nice part about it, and I tell a lot of parents this, the kids are not entitled to it. So if your kid grows up and it becomes a complete asshole, that money is purely yours until you use it for your kid's education. You can pull it out and go run to Bora Bora if you want to, if your kid runs off with some idiot and marries them or does something crazy. So the 529 accounts are a really nice thing. And then like Steve was talking about with his IRA, make sure everyone's maxing out to get your company matches or your 401ks. I know we live in Michigan, and it's not the best economical environment living in Michigan and all that kind of stuff. But you should, if your employer has any kind of match, you should be contributing enough to get that free money. And that's what I put in our show notes today, just to lecture people, man. Get that money, get that free money, your employers, because it's basically a pay raise. And that's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. This is like part of your hourly wage and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I highly recommend it. Back to that savings fund, though. That wasn't around when I first started saving for Holly. Michigan. So
it's kind of relatively new, I'd argue.
I have a stockbroker or whatever through the Dearborn Federal Credit Union. It's basically the same thing. It's just not the sponsored one by the state.
Okay.
So
well, the nice part about
I can't buy credits to the one.
The state one that's cool too is you can claim it on your state income taxes at the end of the year. I got a few $100 extra on my credits through my taxation at the end of the year when I did my TurboTax, because I had contributed towards Lorna's education account.
So what are some of the stocks you've bought, like company-wise?
The nice part about the Robinhood app, too, they gave me a free stock when I joined up. I got a free Groupon stock that just by signing up for an account. I did my 2 Vanguard accounts, which are not flashy, but I'm trying to be Warren Buffett.
Get to the fun stuff.
Exactly.
Walmart? Did you buy Walmart?
I did not buy Walmart. I bought Fitbit because I got my new Charge 3, and it is in the tank. I've lost every time. The big one that's paying off for Charles is the GoPro stock that I bought. GoPro shot way up.
How much was it a share?
It was under 10. It wasn't anything crazy. Yeah, GoPro.
Tech company under 10 bucks?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, and here's the big thing. Here's where GoPro nailed it. And it's, again, in the Robinhood app. I can't say enough good things about that app. Each stock, they individually aggregate news on that particular company. So if you go and you click on GoPro, it's really neat. So it also will tell you, apparently GoPro did successfully because they moved all their manufacturing to Mexico and the United States before the Chinese tariffs hit. So that's why the stock shot up and stuff like that. That I thought that Robinhood app is super.
Remember
fun.
that savings meeting I told you about, WWE, their stock meeting, whatever. That's where I got it from. TD Ameritrade had articles on it.
Oh, okay.
Plus, they send me emails like there's a stock.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it's kind of funny.
And we're not Warren Buffett sitting here, but these are, if you're ever curious and like as we become older and you know what I mean, like you wonder how these rich people get richer, this is how they do it. And like I said, I just kind of dabble in it and stuff like that.
I'm trying to think. The two that really helped me out. Well, first was the wrestling. I bought 33. It's like at almost 100 now.
Look at you.
Yeah, but that was just dumb
Vince
luck.
McMahon, baby.
That was dumb luck, and I thought it would be funny to own wrestling. So that was dumb luck. But the other one was EA Sports, or Electronic Arts.
Okay.
Back in February, Anthem launched or whatever, and it didn't hit the sale, so their stock dropped to $70.
Okay.
So I bought 10 shares, and now it's up over 100 something.
Look at you, man.
So
Steve, making moves, baby.
Well, what do I know? I know wrestling and video games.
And that's the neat part about like the stock, and Steve's kind of hit on it. You can kind of dabble in these companies you happen to enjoy, and that's what I think is really neat. One of the other ones that I bought a few shares of based on Heather's recommendation was Elf Beauty. Elf is a form like Revlon and Maybelline and all this kind of stuff, but they're ethical and they don't do any kind of animal testing. So Heather's a big proponent of those. I picked up them and it's already doing pretty good. So GoPro and Elf Beauty are doing the best ones for us, man.
Some of them are weird. I had 7-Eleven and that doesn't do that great. You know the one that's
Did you get rid of any stock yet?
Yes.
What did you make moves on? Who did you?
Well, there was a weed stock. I can't remember the company. It's through Canada.
Okay, random weed stock.
Bert told me about it. It wasn't expensive. It was only like $8 a share. I bought 10 shares or something along that line. And not a lot because I wasn't trusting it. And then Canada passed a law for the weed, so it was looking good.
Yeah,
that it was,
yeah.
all of a sudden they did something that the company got busted by inflating their stock price. So it went, I paid 8, sold it for like 6. I was like, I got, boy, I lose my
gotta
head.
go. Yeah,
this has got to go. Bert, I think, still has it. He's waiting for the big.
Oh, yeah, he's waiting for the uptick.
Yeah. And then Bert's got a couple pharmaceuticals.
He's in it for the long haul.
I wish Bert was on this week. We could
Yeah, he
could
have been really good. Yeah.
Bill knows a lot about this stuff.
Does
too.
he do does Bert do through the Robinhood app, or has he got like a brokerage account through someone else?
I think the E-Trade. I think he does this through. I'm not sure.
So he might be interested in the Robinhood app stuff.
Yeah. He tries to stick to cheaper, lower ones and does a little research here and there. It doesn't work for him.
Yeah, because I talked about with Heather pretty much at length. I'm not a big gambler about a lot of stuff. Right. I like to keep, like I said, I got boring Vanguard ones that you'll just be like, okay, Charles, whatever, boring, but. Like, it's gambling, man. It really is. I don't know who's not calling, like, the stock market gambling, because that is...
It straight is. And then the two I stick with that don't turn a profit, but they turn dividends all the time.
Yeah, dividends are cool.
Is Fords.
I got a few Ford off of your
I got 25 shares of Ford.
Look at you.
And I get X amount of dollars every month. And
dividends are cool, man.
AT&T gives you a lot of dividends.
Okay.
They
so do the Vanguard ETFs do.
I bought AT&T before they merged with Time Warner, thinking they're going to go through it didn't happen. They just kind of
rode the line.
But Disney, I knew Disney was going to
got that plus coming up.
Unfortunately, I could only afford 5 shares because even before the plus, it was $100-something a share.
That's the other thing that's
crazy.
Yeah, I hit you up like Chipotle was like $2.80.
I don't understand that one at all.
I was like, what on earth, man?
Or something for a while.
Like,
why
how does
is
that
Chipotle
work?
so expensive?
Yeah, like E. coli.
Yeah,
all this stuff.
I looked up. You've looked at like Walmart. I looked at Amazon. I looked at
Amazon's
all the
like over $1,000.
Microsoft's crazy. Facebook. So
but that's what's neat. And the Vanguard, the index funds that take the whole, they buy up all. So it's the stock market as a whole, and that's what's kind of neat about it. So as long as the stock market's doing good, this particular fund is doing really good, and that's what I liked because it seemed really safe.
I don't know if he had anything to do with it, but when Trump got in there, everything in those stock went. I mean, for about
it's a
6
Republican
months,
bump, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think that's
like 6 months. It was like this.
Yeah.
Then it plateaued, and then he dealt the tariff shit, and went, and then now it's crawling back up again. But I don't know if that had anything to do with him or not. But
well, he's going to tell you that. Of
course, he's going to claim it. But it did go
fun,
up when he was in there. So
yeah. So, but the point
stocks.
was. The Robinhood app, I give a huge thumbs up to, and I've been beating the drum ever since. And I'm obviously late to this party. If anyone already does this, they're looking like, Charles, shut up. What do you know?
I
but
know.
It's really cool, and it's if you ever wanted to know, and that's what I keep the buried entries really low on that. It's kind of fun.
The one that got away from me, and I think I told you before, was the Nintendo one. It was right before the Switch came out. I could have got it for $30-something. Switch comes out, it's over $80 now. It's like, I just missed that. I was telling Randy about it too. I was like, I so should get Nintendo, and then I missed it by the fall when the Switch came out.
I think everyone's got those. I told you. Now I know I'm not making this up, dude. The guy that lectured me into getting into precious metals swore up and down to me years ago about Bitcoin, and I looked at him like he was a crazy ass.
Oh yeah,
the dude retired. The dude is done working. Like, I'm not making that up. I'm dead serious.
That much into
dude, he had mining equipment.
But doesn't it go up and down?
It's like at $8,000 right now. But he was actually one of the ones with the machines mining it. He showed me spreadsheets of like how he knew how much electrical usage and hardware he needed. He was next level, but I swear to you, Steve, he was
doing with the hard drives and stuff.
Yes, he was the director of front office at my hotel and went downtown. And then I heard literally 2 years ago, he's done, quit.
Oh, well,
crazy!
A ton of money. Why?
And I'm sitting there going, "What is this guy talking about?
Yeah,
Shut up!" I told you, I'm not into risk, man. I work too hard for my money. I'm not risking. I'm a pansy.
That's the problem. Now, the one Randy's son is into is Roku stock. I don't know how much it is, but it's been.
Yeah, but Randy's son's obsessed with Roku. Period.
Yeah, he always posts about it all the time.
Is anyone watching this on Roku or listening? No. Yeah.
I have Roku on my TV. But I don't think about it. So there you go. So if you can, turn around and grab the leftovers from Holland. Now, if you guys listened last week, my wife made me go into a bunch of shops, and these are from
just do pretzels, I guess.
The Seasoned Home. Now they're not only in Holland. These spice shops are starting to show up in a lot of malls and stuff.
Are they
like
Indian
that.
Spices? Are they like the
No, they're like.
So this is
no, they're like cooking spices.
Yeah, okay.
They're not the rub on your chest so you don't cough spices.
Yeah, so you basically took a spice pack and chucked it in some sour cream.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
8 ounces of sour cream. This is just a little bit of it. Now, the darker kind is the sun-dried. It's made from tomatoes.
Sun-dried tomatoes. I like a sun-dried tomato. I do.
Yeah, well, actually, it's pretty good. I do like. And the other one's just a French onion. And these, I said, how much are these? I think they were $2.50 a pack.
What company did you buy them from?
This is called the Seasoned Home. Was the name of the store. And like I said, they're not just in Holland. These seasoned stores are at other malls and stuff like that. They have teas. They have all kinds of stuff. This is the one I couldn't get my wife out of the store for 30 minutes.
What was she buying that she was all
teas?
about?
She's all into tea now.
Really? I thought she was a coffee douche like my
Well,
wife.
she likes coffee in the morning, but if she drinks too much coffee, she says she makes her poop. So, she's probably not going to want me to say that. But too much coffee makes her poop, so she drinks coffee in the morning and then switches to tea at night.
I gotta be honest. I like the sun-dried tomato one.
It's good, isn't it?
The sun-dried. The oniony one tastes like French onion.
Yeah, it's nothing really that special.
But this sun-dried tomato one's
now,
on point.
we went to a convention, not a women's convention, but it was some kind of weird. The one Josh was at where he was selling his boards, and they
like
had
a made in Michigan thing.
They were there, and they had all different dips. Like they had a habanero dip and all kinds of all sour cream based, and they were all pretty good. But they wanted like $5 a packet. These were only $2.50. $5 a packet, I'd say no. But so like this.
What do
is
you
the
do? You just take
sun-dried.
so you buy a tub of sour cream and chuck that in there.
Yeah, well, a tub of sour cream, 16 ounces. They only want 8, so you're gonna
okay,
take
so
half of it,
yeah.
and then but you got to let it sit for about 2 hours afterwards
Why?
because that's
Got to meld in there or
yeah,
something?
the sour cream absorbs more of the seasoning stuff. Because me and Holly tried it immediately after we mixed it.
You're like,
It wasn't as good, but now it's much better.
that sun-dried tomato one's on point, folks. I don't know.
You like it? You
Yeah,
like it
it's
a
good.
lot?
It's good.
So, see,
I like a sun-dried tomato as I get older, man. It's delicious.
where are you eating random sun-dried
Dude,
tomatoes?
one of my favorite dishes is that at Johnny Carino's,
Give me
is
a
no
pencil.
longer with us in Allen Park.
They closed that?
Yeah, they closed it. Yeah,
What's going to go in there?
I don't know. But there is a spicy noodle dish that has a bunch of sun-dried tomatoes and stuff in it. That's got like chickens, like spicy Romano chicken. Oh my god, folks, I am way down with a good sun-dried tomato as I age. So yeah, it's pretty tasty. I
like
didn't. Yeah, the sun-dried tomato. Not some the French onion one. I'd say just go buy some French onion dip.
Yeah,
is my opinion. But
I was thinking about that. It's like $1.99 at Kroger's. I spent
yeah, I mean,
$2.50 on it.
Yeah, it's a little too much work, but that sun-dried tomato one's on point.
I should have tried something a little different besides French onion. But
Yeah, you stick to what you know. It's
Yeah.
like stock market right there. Yeah. I invested in French onion dip.
So again, they are in Holland, but if you don't want to drive all the way to Holland, www.theseasonedhome.com. You can buy all the seasonings and stuff.
Yeah.
These little packs were 2 for $5.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah.
At the convention we were at, it was like $5 a pack, and I was like, I don't forget that.
Yeah. That's a little too much commitment for my dips.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sun-dried tomato one's delicious.
So they got a little snack for us. We tried that out. By the way, Michelle did try the Hugh Jackman coffee.
And what's her opinion?
She liked it. She
As a
liked it a
coffee
lot.
douche.
She-
Yeah,
she drank
it
it.
seems like it's very solid coffee.
Has
is
Heather
what-
tried it?
Yeah, she liked it too.
So-
I think.
It's
I
5
don't
for
know.
5 on everyone that's tried it. But
Yeah,
me and you don't count because we really
Yeah,
don't drink it.
definitely not coffee douches, but I think that it's a solid coffee. Now the question is, do you want to jump through the hoops to purchase it? That's the question, because it doesn't appear to be available at your local store, but it has a great ethical thing behind it.
It'll do him good if he can hit like a Walmart or a Kroger or something. Eventually.
And maybe that's what they're working toward.
Yeah, just like the proper 12, you couldn't find that anywhere. All right, so like we said earlier, it was my my anniversary weekend, and I went and saw John Wick 3.
Yes, big release on Friday.
$50 million this weekend. It beat Avengers.
The first two are awesome movies.
It was an R-rated film, and the theater I was at was pretty much sold out. Only a couple empty seats.
Where did you see it at?
Canton.
Can't imagine.
Yeah, Imagine Canton, one of my favorites. Gotta say, it's as good. If you like the first and second one, you're gonna like this one.
And if you don't like the first and second one, you're not a human being, because those movies are awesome.
Yeah, they're insane. It's balls to the wall. Starts right where the second one left off. He's running down the street in New York.
Okay.
Him and his dog just chucking.
Yeah,
He's
the
still got the
dog.
stab hole in his side. He's chucking.
Yeah.
It's raining on him. And he's got it takes place about 20 minutes before his El Comunicado takes over.
Oh, man.
So he's got 20 minutes, and he's just chucking down the road.
Oh,
and he ends up going to the I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but
Nonetheless,
it starts
it's a
from there.
Definite continuation of the second one.
Yeah, action up the ass. Keanu Reeves, If I had to guess how many pages of dialogue he has, it's got to be 1 page.
Yeah?
I mean, he doesn't talk much. Just like he didn't talk much in the second.
I got to
one.
be honest with you. I'm
It's a
developing
perfect movie for him.
I'm getting a bit of a man crush as he gets older.
Oh
in
yeah,
Keanu Reeves, man.
Yeah, no
when
more
he was on
romantic comedies.
Colbert this week, he was super humble about. Did you see that stuff too?
Yeah, I've always heard rumors that a lot of his Matrix money he donated to the crew, and
he's a good dude,
he
man.
takes the subway to work, doesn't drive fancy cars.
They showed that thing on TMZ where he got stuck on the plane. The
Yeah,
plane got
yeah,
grounded.
yeah.
He drove a road trip like planes, trains, and automobiles with a bunch of people.
which was on TV today. That movie's still fantastic.
God, so great. Del Griffith. But yeah, I think I'm developing a big time man crush on Keanu Reeves.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. They
Super
one up
excited.
everything from the second one. So my only fear is, so the first one was pretty good. Second one's even better, more. This one even more. I hope they don't go too crazy because there's gonna be It ended on a cliffhanger. I'm not ruining it for anybody. This isn't going to be the last one. I thought it was. I thought it was going to be the last one.
The trilogy?
I thought no. There's going to be a
And then
fourth.
what you thought, like someone else random, like Dolph Lundgren was going to take over?
No, I just thought they'd stop. But
They're
no.
going to be cash cows, man.
Yeah.
You said it beat the Avengers, right?
Yeah, it
At
did.
least
Well,
as of we're talking.
In Avengers Defense, they've been out for 8 weeks or whatever it is.
I'm
but
just saying,
yeah.
though, that's a big feat.
So, but yeah, they left it on a cliffhanger, and there's going to be a fourth one. I'm not going to ruin
So
anything.
if you saw the first two and enjoyed it, you have to go and see the third one.
Oh, you got to.
Yeah.
Right?
And like you're saying right now, it sounds like you're saying in the theater have to go and see it. It's worth that.
Oh yeah, because just listening to the crowd reactions to some of those murders.
Yeah, it's
I was
super
telling
good,
Charles,
man.
this is one little spoiler I'm going to give. He gets this guy in a headlock and puts a knife through this guy's eyeball slowly, and they show it. And his eye turns red and pops like a grape. Oh, everyone in the theater went,
John Wick
"Ooh."
movies, man, are
Ooh,
badass.
yeah. He throws a tomahawk from like a block away and pops it through the head. Yeah. Here's okay. So I was critical of Avengers. I'm gonna be a little critical of John Wick, but by no means this is 8 out of 10.
He's saying go see it.
Go
folks.
see it. But there are some criticisms. One, he gets in a lot of hand-to-hand fist fights for 10, 15 minutes at a time. And when those fights are over, he's not even breathing hard. So he has the best cardiovascular.
Dude, he's John Wick, man.
Dude, some of these fights are insane. He's running, punching.
What do you want? He's like a superhero.
Just
like
catch
I
your
told
breath.
you.
That's all I'm
He's going to
saying.
put his hands on his knees.
Look exhausted. He's just like,
Oh,
all
man.
right, next
Yeah.
fight.
Next, who's up?
Yeah. The other thing, Ruby Rose and Common are not in this one. I thought
yeah.
I thought they would make an appearance.
Well, I believe that they made a point to kind of write them away in the second one.
They didn't die though. They were both hurt,
Okay.
and I thought they'd make a little cameo. I didn't think they'd be made, but so they're all new assassins chasing them in this one. No repeats. Now there are
That's
repeat
not a
characters.
problem.
Ian McShane's back in it. Lawrence Fishburne's back in it. And Halle Berry, I'll give her credit. Now, when I saw her in that James Bond movie years ago, she was god awful.
Swordfish,
Oh,
she was
yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, terrible. She put in the time and looked good. Now, here's the one knock I'm going to say about her and him in this one that I didn't notice in the other two. There's certain scenes, because Halle Berry's got 2 dogs that help her fight. There's certain scenes where you could tell that's a stunt
CG'd
double.
up or something
A
like
stunt
that.
double.
Stunt double.
Like there's one part where she gets like bends over on it, and the dog jumps off her back and goes like this, and the dog jumps way up, and you could tell that's like the trainer doing it, not Holly. Where in the first and the second one, and even there's some scenes with John Wick where you could tell that's not Keanu Reeves, that's another.
I don't
dude.
think I care.
I'm just saying these are the minor things.
Yeah, man. Turn your brain off and just watch that mug, man.
I mean, and then the other part that I was telling Charles beforehand, there's a part where he should have died. I'll be honest. I'm not going to go into detail, but there's no human being on earth that would live
like I
through
said,
that.
though, you watch the Avengers movie. He's a superhero at this point.
Yeah, I guess. But like I've always bitched on this by there's sets of rules the universe sets.
I get you.
And you can't break your own rules.
Man,
but
those
it's
John
very.
Wick movies.
I told you those are minor things.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. Thumbs up all the way. 8 out of 10. Go see it. You're gonna enjoy it, and they're gonna make another one. So in an interview, he said he's gonna make as many as you want. If people keep coming, he's gonna keep making.
Oh
them.
man,
And they find new ways. He murders 3 guys with a horse. He hits the horse in the ass and kicks the dude dead in the face. Head just explodes. Dude,
those John Wick movies are inventive.
yeah, I'm
Great,
telling you,
man.
there's some ways he kills people in this. You're like, are you serious right now? It's great. I thought they were going to have a little bit of an Assassin's Creed tie-in because he ends up,
like a knife
spoilers,
shiv in his hand. Like,
he ends up cutting his
gauntlet?
finger off.
Okay.
And you remember Assassin's Creed, they did that so the blade can come through.
Oh, okay.
So I thought maybe they had a little tie-in, but no, he just cut his finger off this for reasons. I'm not going to go into it. But yeah,
Nonetheless, man, I'm in.
great movie. Now, on the other hand, I did see Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson. This is on the other end of the spectrum. This is a hot steaming, or I should say a cold steaming turd.
No, a cold turd is what it is.
This takes place in a ski lodge town in Colorado somewhere.
Didn't his wife like die from skiing and stuff like that? Didn't like Liam Neeson's
Yeah.
like real life? Wow.
No, his wife had cancer.
Oh,
He died from skiing.
I think so, man.
I don't know. I don't think so. I thought it was cancer.
I gotta check this. We can
Okay.
continue on.
So, Cold Pursuit, it starts off like Taken in the Snow for about half the movie. The first half of the movie, it's like, oh, here we go, Taken in the Snow. But what happened is it pivots about halfway, like I said, about halfway through the movie after her fatal fall. Maybe she did. I thought it was cancer. She did die skiing. Wow, that's a bummer.
I'm telling you. So here he is on a ski resort.
Well, there's no skiing in the movie,
Okay.
but he works in a ski town.
Have
And
a
the snow
goocher.
is like 9 foot in the air, and his job is a snowplow driver.
Mm-hmm.
He drives this one city that goes, that's his only job. So, of course, he's the father. His son gets OD'd, but the bad guys stick heroin in his son to kill him for reasons. They don't really. And then, so halfway through the movie, it goes from Taken in the Snow to this weird dark comedy. It's just the weirdest
It's
thing
just
ever.
totally all over the place.
It's all over the place. Like every time someone dies, they put a black screen with their name, and it's weird. Like one part, the guy's on a parasail and he's flying in, and he hits the front of Liam Neeson's snowplow and goes under the truck, turns to blood, shoots out. It's the weirdest thing. And like halfway,
Yeah, I don't know.
terrible. It was an hour and a half, 2 hours of my life I'm not getting back.
How'd you watch it?
I rented it.
Yeah.
It was on DVD or whatever.
Okay.
Stay away from this, even on cable. I can't believe Liam Neeson. Well, I can. He just
Yeah, I was
takes
gonna say,
anything
he's
that
got
comes along.
paychecks.
But like I said, it's Taken in the Snow for about 45 minutes, and then it's a weird dark comedy for the last 45 minutes. Yeah. And even Michelle was like, "What did I watch?" I was like, "I don't know." Very weird. Stay away from Cold Pursuit. Now, I know this came back out, and I haven't watched it yet. Charles, you
I
watched
just
it?
wanted to bring it up. Yeah, so I've talked about it before on the podcast. This is one of the best Netflix original shows. It's called Nailed It, and it's back for season 3. It's still just as funny. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a baking show. It's on crack. It's super funny to me. I don't know. My whole family is enjoyed. So basically, you have to like.
I really like that host. They got that black girl.
Nicole Byer is her name.
Yeah.
Jacques Torres is the other judge. And then
I don't
they
care for him,
rotate.
but I like her. She's
Well,
funny.
he's the more technical guy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's super witty and funny. It's just these people are trying to replicate these Pinterest desserts, and they are complete disasters. The show knows what it is what I think is so funny about
Yeah.
it. It doesn't try to be like a true K-cup. Go out there, have fun, make this dumb Black Panther dessert that's going to come out like a disaster. It's still good. I just wanted to bring it up because, like I said, season 3 just hit. Go check out Nailed It on Netflix, man. I can't get enough of it. It's super funny.
Yeah, my wife and daughter are huge fans of that also. I really like that girl. She's very charismatic and fun.
Nicole Byer.
Yeah, so she should be on a sitcom coming up shortly. Now, this one also on Netflix. I've been dying to see it again because I didn't remember a lot of it.
Did you watch it?
I watched it. It's on Netflix.
The OG Jim Henson original.
Yes, it is. Dark Crystal.
And what are we talking about?
It's an hour
What
and a half.
year was the original Dark?
1982.
82. Man, I'm 3. You're what, 7? Wow.
Yeah. Now, I will say it is impressive as you watch it knowing that there's not a drop of CGI. in
Yeah,
this
because
thing.
that's back in the day,
All
man.
puppets,
Puppeteer, man.
all stages they built.
I could make the argument that that's why those movies can hold up, is
I
because
think it
something
did
was
a little
in
bit.
the real world.
The knocks I'd give on it, the voice acting was a little bad in parts. Like the sketchies or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah.
The giant gonzo looking things. No, those are the ancient ones.
Oh, the ancient ones,
The sketchies
yeah.
are like, they talk like this all
They're
the
like
time.
buzzards
Yeah,
kinda,
yeah. And they get a little annoying with that voice and stuff, but I don't know what you remember of it. They took over the planet. There's only 10 of them left, and they have the crystal that's cracked, missing a piece. And, of course, there's...
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. For a 40-year-old movie. Yeah. And so, of course, there's a prophecy. Now, here, the bigger puppets, the Skeksis, God, I can't say that word.
Skeksis, I
The
think.
Skeksis. There's
You
these-
really can.
There's these big beetle-looking things. They look like scarabs.
Yeah.
Those look really cool. Like you said, the ancient ones, they're like these they look whatever they are. They look good. The only ones that don't look good are the two main characters.
The little puppety looking thing.
Yeah, the face doesn't move at all besides the eyes blinking. Okay. So it's like very stiff, and that's probably the worst puppets, and that's the focus of the movie. They should have maybe reworked the Elflings, but I mean, this is 1982. But I will say, I mean, credit to them on what they built and what they did without CG.
Was there?
Could you imagine if they did that now with a big budget?
How overwrought it would be.
I know what we get. We get Melissa McCarthy and the Sesame Street Murders. But
like now, so do you think 7-year-old, does it hold up for 7-year-old Steve, or did it kind of lose its luster for you? What's the opinion?
I think 7-year-old Steve would like it. I don't think 7-year-old Lorna or anything would like it. It's kind of dark.
Yeah, it's real dark. Yeah,
the one thing stabs the Elfling and stuff. So
it's crazy.
So I don't know if real little kids are going to like it.
And then they pick the one apart and he gets outcast.
Yeah.
I know. I remember
like a naked weird Gonzo going.
Yeah, it's creepy.
But visually and stuff, there's some special effects. Anyone remembers the movie? The weird sketchies mixes with the ancient ones.
Okay.
At the very end of the movie, and it's like this big glow, and it looks like literally someone took a marker. Okay. That looks pretty bad, and they turn into like these alien.
But for what
beings.
It is, you know what I mean.
I have to say, knowing it's 1982, knowing the effort they put in, watch it if you're interested.
Yeah?
It kind of holds up. I kind of enjoed it. I am a little.
How
bit
much
of
of it did you remember, though? That's the other.
I remember the stripping of the one dude.
Yeah.
I remembered the Elflings, but I thought they were together right away. The boy Elfling starts off by himself and then meets the. I didn't remember. Then I remembered those big tall things they rode. Remember those?
Yeah, like the real like AT-AT looking things.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're really kind of quick too.
Yeah. I forgot about the ancient ones. I forgot about the Beatles. I forgot about the little dog thing. Yeah, it's on Netflix. You want some old nostalgia there?
Did you watch it with your daughter? Did you tell her?
Oh, no. She watched it and was like, what the? She made about 3 minutes. It was like,
man.
I'm done. No, she had no desire to see that.
Wow.
Even Michelle was like, are you serious? Michelle never liked it. She likes that kind of fancy stuff, but for some reason, that one she never liked.
Dark Crystal, man.
She never cared for Willow either.
Willow's great.
Two of my great kid classics when I was a kid. The one you like way more than I did was Neverending Story. I like
Neverending Story is awesome.
You took it to another level, but I thought it was okay. I preferred Princess and the Bride over Neverending Story.
Princess and the Bride's a great movie too.
Yeah, we're such nerds. So there you go, Dark Crystal retro review.
The one movie I don't like is Time Bandits.
Yeah, that's creepy. Wow,
I saw it too young. Young.
That's a little weird one too.
Talk about the darkness of Dark Crystal. Yeah. Time Bandits. I was
and
way
it was
too
very
young.
British too back then, I think too. Dark Crystal. I would love for them to do something along that lines now, all puppet wise, and see what they could do. But they're never going to ever do that,
especially after the Happy Time murders.
Yeah,
and stuff like
it's
that.
never going to happen. But just how they got that made and what they did. You got to admire the craftsmanship that went into it, knowing how the crowd. I know a lot about the puppets.
There was a sci-fi show that was similar to Face Off, where they were making. Jim Henson's workshop was attached to it, where they were making puppets and stuff like that. So that still exists, but it just Happy Time Murders did not do it any favors. It just didn't.
Anybody goes to pitch
it's not the puppets' fault either. That movie stunk not because of the puppets.
Pitch a puppet movie at Happy Time Murders.
They just point to the picture.
Yeah. So there you go. Now, this week I have been playing, I got in a new game, played my new controller on PlayStation 4 Pro, Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. So the Devil May Cry games are a very big action-type game where you're juggling people in the air and stuff. Yeah,
that's great till you do it 347
The animations get a little long. Huh?
First,
are you playing as Dante?
No.
Okay.
There's 21 missions. I'm on 16.
Okay.
You don't get Dante till 12.
Wow.
You get these two other dudes. One looks like Chris Angel.
Hold on, before you get into how beautiful is that game and this generation of hardware? It's got to be amazing looking.
It looks good
because those look great 2 generations ago.
Yeah, but it's always that it's got the same aesthetic that it's had forever, where the demons took over the city, so the city buildings are all
It's a heavy metal
place.
video. Is what you're telling
and it's
me.
got the weird viney demon vines going through it. It's kind of looks
the good old fashioned to keep you from going through that door.
Yeah. And it's kind of had that same aesthetic now since PS2. So it's nothing new. I mean, it looks good, but it's not
Yeah.
Like where
you don't got to like come in here and check this out.
I'm going to compare it a lot to God of War because God of War is kind of the same type.
The new
of
God
game.
of War game is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, the God of War, they went to Norse mythology. You got new characters and new locations. Here in Devil May Cry 5, you feel like you're playing the same game for the fifth time. The only change up is there's 2 new characters. One's named Nero, who has white hair, a trench coat, a sword, and a gun. Who does that sound like?
I was gonna say
he looks
it's
like
a lot like Dante.
He looks identical to Cody Rhodes in the face.
Great.
I don't know if they modeled it after him, and he's missing half an arm. So
he can attach.
Yeah, he's got attachments all the time that you got to.
Couldn't see that coming.
Yeah. So you're him through most of the beginning, and then you turn into Chris Angel. He's a little different. You summon 2 demons. One's a bird, and one looks like a puma, and they do your fighting. You just
a white
stand
bird
back.
and a black puma. I'm assuming
They're both
too?
black. They're
both,
okay. It's like a big demon-looking bird thing.
Okay.
And you hit square to make the bird attack, triangle to make the puma attack, and then when the thing's about to die, you walk up and hit him with a circle, and that's how it dies. So it's a little different, but he's a stupid character. You can't really do anything with him. And then you finally do get Dante, and he's his usual stuff. He's got the 2 guns, the sword, the blah, 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 blah.
Does he come in on a motorcycle?
Funny you say that. He gets a motorcycle about 4 missions in, and he rips the motorcycle in half and uses it as a sword. And
a motorcycle sword.
A motorcycle sword. The tires turn into spikes, and he's whacking people with it. So, I mean, they still do over-the-top craziness in it.
Wow.
And I like that in the cutscenes, but, man, it's like the same 5 villains. Like this big... one with swords, hands. One looks like a fly.
And it's just like, okay, into the next theater, we clear it out.
Yeah,
they
stop you,
clear it out.
Yeah. Stop you, clear it out.
I get you.
And boy, man, 8 hours in, it's like, oh, I'm ready to just watch the ending on YouTube at this point. I mean, I'm gonna power through and get done because each mission's about 40 minutes, I would say.
Okay.
So it's a little repetitive, man. This game probably would have benefited from a shorter game. I'll tell you that much. Maybe I'm just getting old, and
You're
a lot
cynical.
of games rinse and repeat a lot of stuff. But I give it a 6 out of 10. I didn't buy it; I rented it, so I'm kind of glad I did that.
Yeah,
and I guess it's designed so you can play through. Because that's another thing too.
Once you unlock all the characters, now I can go back, and there's certain areas I couldn't go through.
Yeah, and there's certain.
How come I haven't played this game and I can tell you everything?
Yeah, exactly, because it's Capcom 101 is what it is.
Really, wow.
And some of the power ups are like 50,000 orbs,
Yeah.
and you only get maybe 10,000, and then so you can unlock.
I'm gonna replay and get an A in here.
Yeah,
and all this
that's the other thing too. I was thinking about before I was going to talk to you about. Devil May Cry, some other games are like this too, where you finish a fight and it gives you a ranking A, B, C, S, Savage, whatever. Do you ever actually care what your ranking is?
No, but most of the trophy hunters will care.
I don't. I just want to get to the next section.
Yeah,
it's like
I would say someone
who
who's
goes
looking
back
for,
and like I need a higher ranking.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're like that's the other thing too. Maybe we're
too old.
Yeah, we got too many games and too many options. Like if you're a kid who only got Devil May Cry 5 because you really enjoyed the series, you might go back and bang it out a few more times. But whereas, like you said, I'll just take my chances. I'll just turn it back in.
It's funny you say that. The kid who rented it to me, he's probably about 20. He's working at Family Video. Just glowing. Oh, you're going to love this game, bro. It's so great.
Yeah.
I played through it 3 times.
See, you're old and jaded. Yeah, maybe.
I was like, dude, I'm 3/4 of the way through it. I don't want to play anymore.
He's like, I'm struggling.
Yeah. So I don't know. But we've been through it, and Dante has nothing new. So you went on to 6 out of 10, by the way, if anyone.
6 out of 10 for Devil May Cry 5.
So you went on and saw the second episode of Chernobyl?
Yeah, so I actually I spoke incorrectly last week. I said Chernobyl again. I got to tell everyone you got to watch the show. Once Game of Thrones finishes, I hope everyone catches up on demand with this Chernobyl show. It's not on Sundays. It's on Mondays. I happen to watch it on demand Mondays, and I thought it was on Sundays after Game of Thrones, but that's where Barry and Last Week Tonight is on, which you should be watching. Last Week Tonight, Barry, not so much. But
I caught up on Barry, by the way.
Yeah, it's not that good. I told you season 2 is kind of
More Cheshkins.
Yeah, more. Yeah, dude, Barry. Come on, he's the best part.
Yep.
Hank. But anyway, this Chernobyl show is if you're and as we age and we're males and we just do we find ourselves intrigued by history. This Chernobyl show is just getting better by every episode. The tension is amazing in it. This second episode, it plays more into, like I said, the Russian government doesn't want to show weakness in the 80s and stuff, and then this happens and they don't know what to do, like legit style. Like it is just, man, Steve, every week it's a ride, and you got to check it out. This second episode touched on, apparently there was a water reservoir that was full underneath where this reactor core was melting down, and apparently this reactor core will continue to just melt its way to the center of the earth. That's what happens in these nuclear meltdowns, right? It was going to hit this water, and it was going to atomize this water in such a way that it was going to kill 50 million people. Jesus. So then they had to send in 3 dudes, knowing these 3 dudes were going to die. They asked for 3 volunteers to go and drain this water out before the nuclear radioactive core.
Who volunteered?
This is real stuff, Steve, and it just sounds amazing.
Oh, that's crazy.
And the episode is these 2 dudes, or these 3 dudes going into this water. It gets super confusing, and then they cut the episode. Man, it is just so good. I'm telling you, Steve. You gotta check this stuff out. What's that?
I'm probably gonna watch it.
Dude, tell everyone. It is just so great, man. It makes my palms sweat watching it. I'm just like, the whole world was moments away from complete disaster. Because like they don't know what to do. Because the one guy, the nuclear expert's like, this has never happened. So no one knows what to do. There's not like a plan A based on what we learned.
Yeah.
So like they're trying to like dump boron and sand on it, but as they're taking them over with helicopters to dump it on it, the helicopters are just falling out of the sky.
Wow.
It is crazy, Steve, man. I'm telling you, man. This Chernobyl show is a huge 10 out of 10, dude.
I gotta watch it
every Monday on HBO. So once Game of Thrones ends, and we'll talk about it at length here coming up in a couple seconds. Check out Chernobyl, folks. Start from the very beginning and just get that build up. And man, this show is good.
I forgot to add into the notes, but I did catch All the Money in the World. That's that movie where Kevin Spacey was supposed to be in it, playing an oil tycoon.
Oh, the Mark Wahlberg and all that kind of stuff.
Took him out,
and they
Chris Plummer.
Yeah, Chris Plummer. Yeah.
It's standard ransom movie.
Okay.
Not much to say about it, really. Yeah, I guess it's a true story. In the 70s, someone kidnapped this oil tycoon's grandson.
Okay.
And held him for $17 million ransom. Ended up getting paid $3 to $4 million. And the grandson lost an ear in the process. They mailed an ear back to the guy. So, but the grandfather was so old and crotchety.
Is that Chris Plummer?
Yeah.
Who would have been the Kevin Spacey?
Who would have been Kevin Spacey? Didn't want to pay it. He was like, if I pay that, I have 14 grandchildren. They'll all end up.
Oh, wow. Yeah. He's like, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
So the terrorists were kind of getting. The kidnappers were getting nervous.
Where did the kid get kidnapped at, though? In the
Rome.
States? I was going to say in the States?
His dad was a druggie that hung out in Rome and Morocco area.
Okay, so he's like a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, and the kid gets up. He wasn't really a kid. He's about 16 when he got captured. But
nonetheless.
I didn't know it was a true story. The only thing I'll say about it, Mark Wahlberg is good. Chris Plummer is good.
Who does Mark Wahlberg play?
He's like Christopher Plummer's specialist. Like he brings him in to help deal with all this.
Okay.
And that's what he's like former CIA or something along that line. So
could you tell that they had added the Chris Plummer stuff after the fact?
No, not really.
Would you have known that backstory had you not known the reality of that? Okay.
The one thing I will say, Michelle Williams is a terrible actress.
Really? Oh,
I don't like her in anything she's in. I've seen her in Venom. And now
she is like a national treasure to a lot of people. She's
always got a bad wig on.
My God.
She's terrible. I don't know why people love her so much. Oh, wow. And then the other thing I caught right before we go into the floppy wieners, Veep, the series finale. I caught that. Weird ending. Now that I've seen The Sopranos ending, and there's been a couple other HBO series endings I've seen. What are you looking up?
Michelle Williams movies, man. You're crazy. She's been in so many good movies.
I feel pretty with Venom. Are you serious right now?
Oh, man.
Take this waltz? Who cares what are you talking about?
She was in Brokeback Mountain. I thought she was, yeah. That's a great movie. I don't care what you say.
I saw it, but I don't...
Dawson's Creek is where it all began.
That's it. That's why everyone has love for her.
Blue Valentine movie a lot of people love.
After the Wedding, did you watch that one?
No.
Yeah, because it sucked. No, I don't know if it sucked. I don't know. I don't
Shots
like her.
fired at Michelle Williams.
I'm not a big fan, and maybe she'll blow me away. And so, just like Brie Larson,
she was nominated like a handful of times. At this
her
point.
and Brie Larson, they both were nominated, and people love them.
Man.
I don't get either one of them.
Okay.
Sorry, I just don't. But no, I saw Veep, and Veep had a weird ending. HBO ends their series kind of weird sometimes, so I don't.
Yeah,
makes me a little nervous for tonight.
Does it? Yeah. Okay.
So she finally wins the spoilers for last week's Veep. I don't think anyone's watching it besides
Dude,
me
you've
and
already
Michelle.
destroyed the Dark Crystal. Now you're gonna destroy
I know,
me.
sorry. She finally wins her presidency, and then what they do is, so she had to frame one of her right hand man Gary. Like there was a whole thing where there was an investigation.
Someone had to take the fall.
Yeah, he took the fall.
Okay.
Even though he was like he wasn't in love with her, but was always there for her.
Yeah.
And then they flash forward like 30 years after that, and they put them all in old makeup, and she's dead, and they go to her funeral.
Okay.
And then they're just kind of all talking, the ones that are still alive. And then Gary shows up with like her favorite lipstick and leaves it on her casket, and that's how it ends. That's it. And it's a weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird ending. I was like, that was a
yeah.
weird choice.
I
of an
told you
ending.
already. I wasn't a huge fan of Veep. You'll tell me that you enjoyed watching political intrigue about it and like how it
Not
actually
the intrigue, just the
how it
stupidity.
actually went.
Yeah.
I think Veep is entirely overrated. The other series finale that happened this week, and talk about something we didn't put in the show notes. Big Bang Theory ended on Thursday.
I was going to mention there was no fanfare or anything about that
because it's screwed up. They shouldn't have. They should have been far away from the Game of Thrones. They screwed up.
I mean,
period.
we're old enough to remember when Seinfeld and Friends ended.
Correct.
And when those shows ended, there was ads everywhere.
Yeah,
it was
well,
a big
you're
event.
talking about the biggest sitcom on TV right now.
and
Is the
nothing.
Big Bang? They
I didn't even
screwed
realize.
up.
I didn't even realize it was the
got
last episode.
overshadowed by Game of Thrones. It
Yeah.
is textbook screwed up by the studios. Period.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, the last episode, I could predict everything that was going to happen. in the
Sheldon
last
got that
episode.
one last lesson right before.
Yeah, and it just
my friends are important.
yeah, and then she was pregnant. They fixed the elevator.
Yeah.
Weren't. I don't know. It went out with kind of a dud. I don't know.
It did, really did.
You know what's funny is like I look back on, and we're going to talk about Game of Thrones. Not a lot of good series, period, that kind of ends. I can't name you one.
Besides Breaking Bad,
Yeah, okay.
that wrapped everything up.
But
and even though they're going to ruin it because I think they're trying to bring it back. or
They're
something.
oddly like they didn't show, and you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
so, I don't.
And
know.
I know Lost got criticized.
Lost was awful.
I didn't watch it. I don't.
It's
know.
another
I didn't
one like
watch
The
it.
Sopranos that didn't answer any questions.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse. And
Lost
I think
and
we're going to be left
Sopranos.
with a lot of questions after tonight.
Yeah.
So what's
that
going
leads
on?
us into floppy wieners. Floppy wieners. A side note: Bronn is in John Wick 3.
Oh, okay. You mean Bran?
Bronn. No, the
Bron, the one guy, that guy. Yeah,
the
okay.
guy with the crossbow, the one.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
Him, the red-haired guy, and the Hound. They can make a show about those three. I watch it every week. Yeah, he gets bit in the nuts by a dog.
Yeah. So let's talk about what happened last week and the apparent nuclear bomb that is a dragon.
Okay.
It literally melted the city, Steve.
Okay.
Where was that 6 months ago when she had 3 of them?
Again, let's go back to Steve says that TV or movies have set rules in their universe.
Okay.
The week prior, these giant crossbows were quick, agile, and can load like that.
And knock one out of the sky like that, too.
This week, flash forward a week, those same crossbows are slow, clunky, and can't be loaded fast. Are you serious? They
Dude,
changed
I'm
it.
telling. And they overpowered that dragon so much.
I don't
Oh
mind.
my
I don't mind the
God.
fact that it wasn't a real bad. I kind of like that. There was like, oh wow, it was just an ass kicking.
But dude, Steve,
But she should have done it with 2 dragons or
That's
something.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like you had to adjust that universe because they held out on the north
They
and all
broke
this
their
kind
own rules. That-
Yeah,
that's what annoyed me.
They pushed their own to push their plot forward. They adjusted all their own rules.
Yes, exactly true.
What about the big hound mountain fight? Was just that was terrible.
He was an unstoppable zombie. I thought Grey Worm was going to show up there because the mountain cut off his woman's head. So I thought,
okay,
but
he got nothing. He was too
nothing.
busy following Danny's orders
Slaughtering
in the
innocent
city.
people,
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so it was. I
Now,
don't
what
mind
do
the
you think
fact that it wasn't a big battle.
What do you think about the Cersei death by Boulder? What is your opinion there?
Bert's convinced she's still alive, and her and Jamie are going to show up, sipping tea like Batman and Catwoman at the end of that one movie. I don't think so. I think there's
I think it's over.
10 tons of brick on top
Yeah.
of. My thing is Jamie's big moment is That big blonde's the sex with her was so bad that he's like, I'm out of here.
I gotta go bang my sister
I
again.
gotta go bang my sister one last time.
I don't know.
And it's awful convenient that the little cubby area that Jamie figured out to go to, that pirate guy happened to wash up right there. Oh, hey, how's it going? We're gonna fight to the death.
Yeah.
And he looks right at the screen. I defeated Jamie Lannister. I was like, oh, that's. There was some bad stuff, and they Anakin Skywalker the crap out of Dany the queen, the white.
Oh yeah. She's furious.
I know a lot of people are gonna tell you, well, you know, if you look back,
she's a Targaryen,
and she set those one guys on fire. She never slaughtered innocent people for 8 seasons,
and I mean straight up slaughtered them.
She slaughtered everybody.
Yeah, when they had a moment, they made a point to show you that the King's Landing people surrendered. And she still smoked them. Like, that's next level. Like, you know.
I mean, she freed slaves. She slaughtered people that were against her, tried to kill her. The Tarleys, she fried them and stuff like that. So this was a flip of character. I don't care what anyone says. The Anakin Skywalker, Walkers.
What about all the people that named their kid Daenerys?
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Well, first
how's that working out for you? Named after a psycho queen.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what is your opinion on what the Arya ending? What is your opinion on
Arya ending?
Which she got on the white horse and all this kind of stuff. Is she death incarnate? Like a lot of people are saying she's death.
Whatever. She goes from. She's another one where they flip her character around. First off, I've got my list. I have to kill everyone. She kills the Night King. She's going with the Hound. I'm going to slaughter everybody's ass. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Hound goes, you know what? You don't want to be revengeful like me. She's like, yeah, you're right. And then she turns into a 12-year-old scared girl, and she's running through the streets going, ah!
Yeah, what was up with the DJ Qualls-looking chick and her kid throughout the whole...
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers? I didn't see Aaron Rodgers. Did you see Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Apparently, Aaron Rodgers was in that sequence as a townsperson.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... And then they're all hiding in a building, and Arya's like, come with me, you're going to die. As soon as they go with her, they die.
Yeah,
so
I don't know, man.
Another flip of character for her, a flip of character for Dan. And then the bald guy, the Master of Secrets.
What's his name?
Varys or whatever.
Varys, Varys.
He becomes the dumbest Master of Secrets ever.
They explained... So I saw a theory online because I was reading a couple of Yahoo articles.
He was trying to poison her.
Yeah, so the ring comes off. They're implying that ring is going to have big implications tonight of someone poisoning Daenerys.
Yeah, so... wow, you can tell. You can tell. I mean, it's not. Don't get us wrong. It's not a bad show or anything like that.
By no means, it's just not the best show to ever air on television.
It was up until a point, and then I don't know what they did. Makes me nervous. Makes me fart.
Yeah.
Makes me nervous for what they're going to do with the Star Wars series they get. Those two guys that are writing this.
Well, we'll see.
Because here's the other thing I've heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but a lot of people have confirmed it. HBO wanted to give them 10 episodes.
They backed
turned
it down. Okay.
So they can get done quicker to go over to Star Wars.
Oh, okay. Because they got a lot of loose ends to wrap up tonight. I mean, it's an hour and a half. It's going to have to go pretty quick.
I thought HBO cut the series. No, it's not.
Well, of course HBO didn't cut the series. You crazy?
Oh, I didn't know if they wanted.
HBO's like, please, man, I need anything in this universe. Everyone's going to cancel their HBO Now accounts like you wouldn't believe.
The best is John Oliver. We're so screwed with the show.
So good.
That is pretty fun.
Last week tonight's one of the best shows on television.
So my problem with last week, and it wasn't the quick fight, was the flip of the characters all over the place.
But they had to do that to push their plot points ahead.
Yeah, and then they killed off the Hound, which is probably next to the red-haired guy, one of my favorite guys on the shows. But I knew it was coming. That's the only problem with the Hound. I did like when the Mountain just chucked that dude against the wall.
Yeah, did the right-hand man? Did she just splattered his head?
Yeah, like an egg right off the wall. Now, here's the thing that's on YouTube, and maybe I should stay off the internet, but there was a video.
As we broadcast to the internet.
Yeah, I know. There was a video of leaks that came out 3 weeks before the season started. And so far, those leaks have been exactly right on everything.
Oh, okay.
So what these leaks...
What's that leak? Wait, go ahead.
This
is leaks. If you don't like it,
for
turn
tonight.
it off.
Yeah, and we don't know if this is going to be true or not. But and it seems pretty true, though. The beginning of this episode, Tyrion's going to be arrested for releasing Jaime, which makes sense. And he's going to be put on trial.
They don't got time for a Tyrion trial.
Dany and he's going to be put in captivity and waiting the trial. Dany and Jon are going to start arguing more and more and more about what she did and how she just...
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
And Jon ends up murdering her, killing her.
Okay.
And then everyone kind of agrees with it because she was crazy. and then they make a council. A council is going to be made up of all the wealthy landowners that are left over, which is Sam Tarwell, Bronn, who gets the High Gardens.
Oh, okay.
They release Tyrion because, well, she's dead. Who cares? And they make a council, and then the council votes on who's going to be the new king. Jon doesn't want it, of course. He just wants to, I don't know, go north and find his wolf. And they elect Bronn as the king.
Oh.
And Sansa gets to remain in the north as Queen of the North.
Bronn, the crazy guy that was
I'm sorry, Bran. Bran, the guy.
Bran will be king.
Yes.
Wow.
If that is true, that is the ultimate turd sandwich.
Wow.
So we don't know, but that's what
Let's
that
hope
video
Steve
says.
is wrong, ladies
I'm
and
praying
gentlemen.
to be wrong, but they said they also
A
filmed.
council?
There's a council that will be formed after Daenerys dies,
Right.
but Daenerys is dying by the hand of Jon.
Okay.
And the council elects someone,
And nothing is to happen to Jon?
no,
He just is. He's just there.
the video said nothing happens to him. Man.
Okay, well, we'll see, folks.
I hope that's wrong.
I still stand
in the same token.
Tyrion for king. I don't care. What
Well, you're
anyone
close,
says.
but they filmed 5 endings, so we don't know.
Oh, flip flop, flip flop.
So
flip-flop.
who knows
Yeah.
what they're going to actually give? But,
It's a 3-card Monty.
so there you go. A little look at Game of Thrones tonight.
I just hope. My only opinion is, give me a definite answer. Don't do some BS at the end where 3 people stare at each other and they go to black. I will lose my crap if that is the
I'll put my fist in
Dude, I'm telling you, I will cancel everything HBO right then and there. I will figure out a way to watch John Oliver and Chernobyl.
Well, most of John Oliver bits are on YouTube.
Okay, I will have to watch it that way, and I will have to illegally bootleg Chernobyl and Chernobyl.
So there you go. Now back to the playoffs. We're closing in on near the end here. Starting with the hockey, Boston whooped that ass on Carolina.
Boston just ran Carolina. See ya.
And right before the podcast, St. Louis
Was destroying San Jose 4-0.
So they're going to be up 3-2. Maybe San Jose's magic's wearing off.
Yeah, this was in San Jose tonight that they whooped up on.
Oh,
or today,
yeah,
rather.
it's not looking good. That'll be a nice Stanley Cup.
It's a
there.
little more
Boston,
OG.
St. Louis.
They
yeah.
said tonight, so I was watching the game as you came in. St. Louis hasn't been to this Cup final since 1970. So
Wow.
that's pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
that's at least got some old school touches to it.
So it's looking like Boston and St. Louis, unless San Jose can somehow get up off the mat, but they might be down for a 10 count coming up here. Now to the NBA, the Greek Freak is kind of pissing on Toronto.
Yeah.
It's 2 games to none, Milwaukee over Toronto. And this other one that's surprising me is Golden State without Kevin Durant. It's just owning Portland. Now, they were losing by double digits at half, but it just didn't matter.
But that's Golden State's MO, it seems
Yeah.
to be. I'm by no means am I an NBA freak, but Jesus, man, these guys come back like down 20 and come back all the time.
Well, I understand Draymond Green went crazy in this last game. He was assisted. He had like the game.
Well,
of
and
his life.
I watched again. I'm a highlight guy when it comes to that Damian Lillard guy, the big star for Portland. They're just attacking him. Like as soon as he gets the ball, they attack him.
Well,
So they
makes
can't
sense.
do anything.
Yeah, it's a good move on their part. And then what else? So it's looking Golden State and Milwaukee unless Toronto turns it around. We'll see. We'll give you an update next week. But the other part with the NBA, the big lotto
You got to admit
pool-
the NBA hates the fact that Milwaukee's going to be at the final. You know they do. That is so small market. They got to be like, Milwaukee?
Yeah, that's true. Now the NBA does it different than the NFL. NFL, if you're the last team with the worst record, you get the first pick. The NBA, they take a pool.
They weight it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they weight it on how you finished. And the one everybody thought for sure was
Zion
a lock.
Williamson.
Zion Williamson was going to go to the Knicks, and the Knicks were going to get the first pick.
Oh.
Well, guess what? The New Orleans Pelicans got the first pick in the NBA draft.
I got to tell you, though, that made it super compelling. I'm by no means am I an NBA slappy. I try to stay up on most major sports. But this is, I think it's great, like super compelling stuff because, like, you think you're going to lose and just walk into, like, this top prospect that only comes around every few hundred years or whatever they're claiming with this guy or a few 20 years.
Yeah.
And I got news for you. Those balls fell differently, and they're screwed.
Yeah. Now, if New Orleans could keep Anthony Davis,
That's the big thing,
I don't
is-
think they will be able to.
Yeah.
They might have a decent team. If not, then
They're saying Anthony Davis is still gone, according
Yeah.
to Espen.
then Zion's just going to rot for 4 years and then eventually go to some other team. That's basically what's going to happen, unless they just offer him billions of dollars and then he'll stay. So there's a look at the NBA and NHL.
Because the Knicks are picking third, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then the second, do you remember who
Fourth,
the
I know the fourth is the Lakers.
Lakers, and then, like I
I
said,
don't
the Knicks.
remember who the second team is. But did you see some of the reactions?
Yeah, they were all like laughing.
The Knicks they showed like the Knicks bar and stuff like that. They're all depressed. Is it Cleveland? No. We're looking up the order in which people picked this year. I don't know who else.
Memphis.
That's what it was. Yeah. So there you go. New Orleans sneaking in there, getting that number 1 pick. Everyone was convinced it was going to be New York, and
man, New York was like, no.
So now let's go to 3 minutes of my favorite fake sports.
This is huge. This is huge.
Now
week.
I just brought up some interesting points because they came up in the week. Nothing show related because they're all terrible. AEW, the one with Cody Rhodes and Jericho and Jim Ross.
That you guys were all waiting for some actual information that they've been teasing.
They have their TV network TNT. They're going to be. I don't know.
Is anyone surprised by this?
No, because that was the rumor. TBS.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to be.
Every station has upfronts. They call them. That's where. I don't.
Here's what's coming up on our channel,
and they have a lot of the stars from the TV shows there, and they talk to media and stuff like that. And TNT and Cody Rhodes we're there. Cody Rhodes is like big time in this thing. He's like the president outside of the owners from Jacksonville.
I guess.
So, all right, we got a TV station.
Do we have a start date for it yet?
In the fall. That's all we know.
Okay.
It might go up against SmackDown on Fridays, is what I've been hearing. Not Raw on Mondays. Which
so you think there's going to be a direct fire from this league at something WWE?
They claim they're not going to try, but TNT's going to claim the same thing in TNA, and then the first thing they did was try to go after WWE, and they got destroyed. Hopefully they're smart and they don't, but we'll see what actually happens. But I've seen they have a pay-per-view coming up next week.
Who?
AEW does.
Has a pay-per-view.
It has a pay-per-view. Their first pay-per-view. It's coming up in this month.
We might have to check that.
$60 though.
Oh, jeez.
Do you want to check it out for $60?
I don't know. I mean, we might have to kick in and figure it out.
Maybe. I don't know. Just to see.
It's the inaugural pay-per-view for them?
Yeah, it's Double or Nothing or All In. I can't remember what it is.
Oh.
Well, if you want to, we can go in and look at it.
When is it?
It's on a Saturday. I want to say it's the Saturday before Memorial Day, I want to say.
Okay. So that's like you said, it's next weekend.
Yeah, but it is $60. It's not cheap.
You sound a little annoyed.
Well, I mean, when you can get WWE pay-per-views for $10 and they're coming in at $60, I thought maybe $30. That would have been a much better. Double or Nothing is what it's called. And you're going to have Chris Jericho in it, Kenny Omega. I know
65, dude.
Yeah, for high def it's 65, yeah.
Wow.
May 25th is when it is. Saturday, May 25th. So,
65.
Yeah.
God, diesel.
I mean, I guess you're seeing history because it's their first.
We might need to do it. Just
to do it. We can
I
talk
smell a live stream.
Yeah,
if they sniff us out on AEW, I'm done with all wrestling pay-per-view.
So now the other fascinating point is tonight is WWE's pay-per-view Money in the Bank.
Which is crazy as you put in the show notes.
Yeah, they're going up against Game of Thrones final.
There's going to be 10 people watching it.
This makes no sense whatsoever why they're doing this.
Not to kick back, how many people do you think are going to watch Game of Thrones tonight? Like legit stuff.
30 million?
Yeah, I would assume. It's
even after the...
Because they said only 18 watched Big Bang on Thursday.
Yeah. Wow, that's funny that paid cable final is going to be...
I bet you it's going to be in the 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, CBS totally screwed up that finale.
They really did.
But yeah, so the Money in the Bank's going up against Game of Thrones.
How many? I'd love to know just how many. I know you're an investor in WWE. Find out how many buys they have on this pay per view.
They don't share that.
Like 8.
It's gonna be all. Yeah, no. I mean, that is just terrible timing on their part. Now back into Charles Love's John Oliver and stuff, and I thought this was relevant. A young girl,
I read this. Yeah,
Ashley Massaro, I think her name was. She was on Survivor China.
Okay.
That's why Michelle recognized. 39 years old, died. Former female.
I believe apparent suicide, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
She suffered from depression, someone said, because of injuries.
She was a bit of a pill popper and stuff.
I saw that.
So, and she was actually getting in shape because she was going to have another run in one of the wrestling leagues. I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
But it didn't work out.
Tyler, we're watching you, man. Professional wrestling is a tough gig, dude. I'm just saying.
Mentally and physically. I mean, and that... Earlier in the week, Ric Flair was hospitalized again. Now
he's looking a little rough.
There's conflicted reports here. Now the family's saying it was a scheduled, regular maintenance thing. Other people are saying he just dropped somewhere and they took him in. And
which one do you believe?
He dropped somewhere.
Yeah,
he's drinking at a bar somewhere.
Yeah,
but allegedly he's going to recover. And Ric Flair is still 70 years old, still kicking. But he's been struggling with his health here the last couple years. He's got to quit the booze.
Yeah.
So there the more young deaths to prove John Oliver's point from a couple weeks ago.
Wrestling is a tough gig, man.
Yeah. So if you were a fan of Survivors, you might have Ashley Massaro, I think is his last name.
Only 39, man.
39 and passed away. When I put it in the notes, there was no
cause yet.
So there you go. So now, before we start with the MMA, I saw this flippy dude. They showed him on Sports Center.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
The Michelle Pereira guy.
That dude was flipping around like he's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So he does capoeira. Yeah. You're looking at what will be the next big. I talk about it every week.
He'll get knocked out in 2 months.
Bingo. So the UFC, and Steve's talking about, so this is the 135 seconds of MMA. So there was a UFC fight night, and in the prelims, this Michelle Pereira guy, who had already had a lot of fights before this, this is his UFC debut, he cried on the way to the ring. Just so we're on the same
they showed
page.
that on Sports.
Yeah, he's very emotional. And he had like 20-something.
I've been crying too. I'm going to get punched in the face for $25.
Dude, I'm telling not in the UFC. They're going to give you some cheddar. They're going to give you like at least 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he got in here, and he's straight up Brazilian. So he does capoeira. Capoeira, if you don't know, is that weird roundabout spinning stuff.
Yeah.
They kept calling him unorthodox. I'm like, this guy's on crack. This is a totally different
He's
thing.
like that dude from Tekken. There's one
Yeah,
guy
dude,
Tekken,
it's super weird. Anyway, he knees. I didn't put who he went up against, but he kneed old boy, caught him with a knee, and then just straight dropped him with a fist.
Yeah,
it was really entertaining.
He did a spinning kick in the middle of the
He
ring.
did a back heel kick that no one on planet Earth. He looked like it was like Bloodsport, like you seen the Kumite, you know what I mean? Like where it's like, dude, what is going on right now? But anyway, a very big debut for this guy. They loved it. They talked all about it. He is going to be pushed hard from the UFC. And to Steve's point, I say it all the time, he'll get knuckle sandwich dropped.
They're praying he doesn't.
Yeah, and then the other big one was Rafael dos Anjos defeated Kevin Lee in round 4 by submission. The reason why this is big, Conor McGregor actually called him out at the end of it. So they're trying to get behind dos Anjos to get him some kind of like push. So that's what's going on there. And then the other one was Ian Heinick, I don't even know how you say his name, Antonio Carlos Jr. That was a decision.
I like Senior Antonio Carlos.
Yeah, I was a much bigger fan.
Yeah.
But, but the biggest debut was the Capoeira guy.
They showed him on Sports Center.
It was kooky, man. And he was all over the cage. He was fists off the cage and stuff. I don't know what he was doing. Someone's going to watch tape and destroy this guy. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And then the other big
He's a bigger guy, wasn't he? Light heavyweight?
He's 170. He weighed 170, but he looked like he was.
He wasn't.
He walks around at 2. I'm telling you, that's a big boy.
He wasn't small.
But he was doing some kooky shit. And then the other big thing is the charges in Florida where Conor McGregor snatched that guy's phone out of his hand and stomped it, and he got arrested for that and all that whole thing with the properties. That all got dropped. He probably kicked the guy some loot.
How much do you think he gave that loot?
I bet you about 100 G's or something like that. Yeah,
that's an expensive phone.
He's got to get away from it because he's got all these charges mounting up all these places. He's just got to go. So
real life Irish gangster.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that Steve caught the guy because
he's crazy.
He's going to be the next big push and the next big loser.
Yeah, he was on Sports Center. I was like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
He's flipping around.
And you witnessed his peak, and you will see me talk about his fall very soon.
Yes.
Now, a lighter note, too, real quick before we get off. June 1st, I believe it is, there's a great UFC fight night, Gustafsson versus Alex Smith. These are two guys that have fought John Jones in the past. They're going to be on an ESPN Plus event. Get out, get your ESPN Plus subscription if you're a UFC fan. I'm telling you, stat card after stat card with this stuff. It's just, it's amazing. And like I said, that Gustafsson Smith fight is an awesome card to see just for $5 or whatever it is a month for ESPN Plus. Great stuff.
Charles really likes it. He's been pimping it each week.
I'm not going to stop either. It's just every week.
So now we're going to go to rapid fire.
Couple of these I was shocked to see coming out so soon. I didn't realize.
Yeah, well, mostly next weekend. Not this weekend.
Yeah, but nonetheless.
So in movies, first one out, and
so this is the Yes, No, Baby, What segment.
Yep. And this one's been getting advertised quite a bit. Will Smith's Aladdin, because they put him on the cover. I don't know anybody else in this movie besides Will Smith. I'm a no. Michelle and Lisa are going to go see it, so they're a yes. Charles?
I'm a no, actually. It doesn't look intriguing to me. Will Smith looks kind of weird as the genie, so I'm a no.
I mean, I'll watch it when it comes at home.
But you wouldn't go see it in the theater.
No. Brightburn. Now, this is the one I was talking to you about before, where I don't know how DC Comics is not suing them.
Oh, okay.
This is what if Superman was evil.
And this is with Roy from Office Space, right?
And,
or not The Office.
Yeah,
right?
and Amanda Banks, or not
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
I like her. She's in a lot. Now she's a good actress. I don't mind her.
Michelle Williams, man. Shots fired.
Forget her. But Brightburn, evil Superman, looks like a teenage Superman killing people. I don't know how they're not going to get sued. I'm a no.
I'm a what, actually? People, you're the second person to talk about. A couple guys at work talked to me about it.
You haven't seen the trailer for it yet?
I haven't, but it's superhero stuff, so I'm going to check out.
It's not even superhero. It's horror movie stuff.
But
they literally find the kid in a field. They're in the middle of Oklahoma.
It
is such a ripoff. I don't know how they're getting away with it. Booksmart. Now this
looks great.
This looks like
Olivia Wilde is attached to it. The chick who's married to Jason Sudeikis.
She directed it.
Yes. Yeah.
This looks like what's that movie?
Superbad. It
looks like the female version of Superbad. I'm a yes. I might go see
I'm
this.
a huge yes. It looks really funny and quirky. Yeah.
The chubby girl in it is also in that show I watched, What We Do in the Shadows, that weird vampire show. Okay. She's funny in that too. They call her a baby vampire because they changed her over.
Okay.
So I looks good. So
big yes on both.
It's usually those small weird there's like one small weird really in May that hits, and this might be like Bridesmaids that one year. Out on Blu-ray, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. This is the third of the trilogy.
I was going to say, is this that third one we talked about?
I've seen them all. I like them. They're good movies, but for some reason I missed this one at the theater. I'm a yes, Charles.
At some point, I need to see all three. I haven't seen a How to Train a Dragon movie, so I would be a yes on Blu-ray for it.
Yep. And now, Isn't It Romantic is Charles's favorite actress, Rebel Wilson.
Oh, jeez.
This is the one where like a real-life romantic comedy comes to life for her. Like everything happens in it. It's like a romantic comedy. I'm no on this one. I like her, but I don't know.
I'm a huge no. Rebel Wilson, I'm out. No, thank you. Talk to me when Melissa McCarthy's in it.
The next one's The Upside. This is Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston, where he's in a wheelchair and Kevin Hart takes care of him. I wanted to see the theater. I just never got to it, so I'm a yes.
And I co-signed Steve. I'm a yes on that, too. It looked good. It looked pretty funny. Kevin Hart can really carry the movie. Bryan Cranston, yes.
Now we're going to the streaming. This was a little hard this week. There's not a lot left coming out for streaming, but Wanda Sykes, Not Normal. I think it's a traditional stand-up. I mean, yes, but I'm hoping she stays away from the political stuff a little bit, but I know she's not going to.
I don't like Wanda Sykes.
No,
not a fan, so I'm a no.
I do until she starts going into the Trump stuff too much, and then it's like, oh, God.
She owns part of Stevens and Lido on Blackish, the place he works, the advertising firm.
Yeah. See You Yesterday. This is like a kid's time traveling movie. It's a Netflix original movie. No.
We're still watching Nailed It, so I'm a no.
And then this one on Hulu, which we're going to talk about in news a little later. Not this movie, but Hulu. MasterChef Celebrity Family Showdown Special Part 1, and then Part 2 comes out next week. I'm not huge on. I don't have Hulu, and I'm not huge on cooking shows all that much, so I'm a no.
I don't like the MasterChef format. So I'm actually a no for that reason. I don't like MasterChef. And I'm a huge Gordon Ramsay fan, and MasterChef, the format of it annoys me.
I don't know if it's exclusive to Hulu or if it's on Fox and coming to Hulu.
Either way, I'm not watching it. MasterChef, I'm out.
And video games. There's only a couple coming. A little bit of the slow time in video games. You're going to hit probably August will be a lot more. But Team Sonic Racing, basically, this is Mario Kart with Sonic characters. I would rent it, so I'm a yes.
I'm a no. I don't think that there's enough. Is there enough characters in that universe to justify a Mario Kart clone?
Kind of. Not really.
Yeah.
You got Knuckles. They've made a lot over the years that we lost touch with. But.
Yeah, I'm a no.
Side note, that movie, they're redoing that whole Sonic.
The whole thing.
Looks so terrible.
People freaked out about it.
They're like, oh. And then this, anytime I see a VR game coming out, I put it on here just for Charles.
Just for me.
Everybody's golf VR. It looks like just almost like a Wii golf type deal, but for VR. I mean, I would rent it. I wouldn't buy it. So I'm a maybe, I guess.
I'm a no. And here's why. I had the Tiger Woods that had the motion control stuff built into it. I bought a special controller that would mount the motion. It's impossible. It just doesn't It's hard to explain, but it just doesn't translate. It's weird.
But if you can find it like that one way to do it, it'll hit really good.
You can video game it.
It's kind of like Golden Tee if you spin it just right.
It seems like it'd be way more fun than it is, folks. I'm a no.
Side note, I did see. It's not for PlayStation VR. I think it's a separate standalone thing. Lightsaber something.
That's a standalone thing. Lenovo makes.
Yeah, you get two lightsabers. You gotta hit these boxes.
The big thing is all that stuff that came out with Oculus. The Quest is coming out. The Oculus Quest, which you're going to talk about a little bit later with the Moss stuff and all that kind of stuff. But that Quest is all tether free, man.
Yeah,
could be good stuff. Nice. Definitely got my eye on that.
So now we're going to go on a few hard-earned reviews, and Steve is an avid gamer and a little stupid at times. But
just look this up on the internet, folks, and tell us what you think.
This is the Astro C40. Now, one thing, I've played video games a long goddamn time now. And
how many years do you think you've played video games? Like, when did we get like the Sega Master System?
Well,
how old were you?
No, Dad had the Atari 7600. I got inducted to Space Invaders and all that. God,
back in Pickwick? Was that in Pickwick time? The first console I remember.
Probably 84. I was about 10 years old.
We were hooking up that Master System on the TV that was on that paneled wall. I remember that. Mm-hmm. That's a childhood memory I have.
That Master System, I had Super Hang On.
Yeah, and the Rambo game.
And it had a Jungle Hunt one. Remember? It was and Trish would cheat, and she would hit the TV with the laser gun. It's like, I think you're a little close.
Yeah. And then one of my biggest video game memories, too, is playing Mario Brothers 3 at Joe's house.
We got Nintendo a lot later than everyone else did.
Yeah.
We had Sega Master System
home
first, and then 2 or 3 years later, we got an NES.
Yeah.
I remember Mom actually liked Mario. She couldn't figure it out, but she liked it. This is the Astro C40. Now, the one thing I was going to say about controllers, if there's one thing besides their online service, whatever, Microsoft nailed it on the.
You think the Xbox One controller is the quintessential controller of this generation?
Yeah, and Xbox 360 controller was the quintessential last year. Even though I like the Xbox 360 controller a little better than the Xbox One, if that makes any sense. But they're pretty similar.
I was going to say there's very little difference.
It's just tweaking it a little bit. I love that control. Now, you're looking at some big sausages.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing I don't like, and it really never did like much about the PlayStation One, those two analogs being so close to each other.
It's a weird format for you.
Yeah, for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a second best controller. I've played with PlayStation.
It's not like you can't play a PlayStation game.
I can't change this garbage.
But you're saying, like, if you had a choice, you're taking an Xbox controller.
Yes, I'm taking Xbox over any other controller. And the one that people praise are Nintendo controllers. They're terrible. The original was a little box. That Game Boy one was
Nintendo
terrible.
64. Get out of my life.
Yeah, their controllers have always
put
been
a nub in the middle.
Their new ones with the Joy-Cons. Oh my God. Try not to get a hand cramp.
Yeah,
they're so
it's made
tiny.
for my daughter's hands.
Yeah. Holly can handle it or her, but us. So this is the Astro. Now the nice thing about this one, if people can see it, you see how I have it. You can take this faceplate off.
This is crazy,
and you can move these modules around.
How does it know where you have the module?
It's got almost like a
like pins, a circuitry built into it?
A soldered circuitry board on the bottom. So once you put it in there, the controller reads it and knows which.
So the controller has the smarts built into it to know analogs
that's probably
at
why
position
it's heavier.
2. So you literally could put the analogs at position, let's say 3 and 4, as opposed to 1 and 3.
I could put 2 analogs right here. That wouldn't make no sense.
You could have them all sort of kooky.
Yeah, so it's really cool about that.
It also came with all the hardware to do all those adjustments as you talk about.
It comes with a case, and it's got little knobs. You could change the knobs. Now, the only downside, it's not first party. So if you're going to use it, you got to plug in your little dongle.
So that's how it wirelessly talks to your. Oh wow!
But you can, because this is meant for pro gamers. It comes with a USB cord that you. It's really meant to play more wired. You lose all latency. There's no lag whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a switch on the front of it where you can switch from wired to wireless.
Yeah, I get you.
Now I'm not that hardcore. I'm not playing Fortnite.
But if you're playing like a crazy fighting game where Twitch controller's huge, you can need that instant input.
Yep. Yeah. Now you can also plug this into the PC. And it has a whole hub
configuration.
Where you can configure all different buttons and stuff. Now what a PlayStation controller doesn't have, this does 2 buttons down here. And it's also got these trigger locks. You familiar with trigger locks?
Mm-mm.
So when you're playing Call of Duty or something along that lines, the trigger locks makes it so you only have to press it this far, where regular, you got
it just takes out a lot of the play to it.
Yeah, so you can shoot 2 times faster than you would.
So in other words, it's back to Twitch control. I'm doing a half a depression as opposed to a full depression.
Yeah. So I'm shooting a half a second faster than you are because I got this control.
That response is in there that much faster.
This is for really hardcore guys.
I mean, after you told me how much you paid for it, I could see why.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's got some cool features. Really, really like it.
Now, those under buttons you said are programmable to replicate any button on the controller.
Yes. Now, the only downside, and what I was hoping for, and the Xbox Elite is the same way, you could only program these buttons to a button. Like, I wanted to program
You want a macro controller.
Yes, I want quarter circle punch.
Yeah.
So I can throw a fireball by hitting
you want a macro, I get
but you can't. Right now, you
it's
can't.
It's literally just, it's the X button or it's the R3 button.
Yeah. I like to make the clicks because I don't... I hate games where you got to click it down to run or whatever.
Yeah.
So I like making these the clicks so I can just hold that button and run.
There's a lot of preference involved, and it sounds like they were smart to all those preferences.
Yeah. And now Astro's the same company. They're owned by Logitech. But Astro's the same company.
Is it really?
Yeah, Logitech bought them out.
Because I know that Astro is everyone's pointing to like your gaming headsets and everything. That is like the creme de la creme of all that.
Now, the other one I was looking at before this one was the Scuff Vantage, same price. But it's set up like an Xbox controller for PlayStation. But they're saying that has a lot of dead zones. So where you go like this, it might miss it on the thing.
Really? That's huge.
Where this doesn't.
Okay.
And Scuff has a bad customer relation. Like a lot of their stuff breaks within a month.
Jeez.
So yeah.
The thing that struck me when you handed that to me, and it is heavy as hell.
Yeah.
It's got some real deal metal in it. It's got some real deal components inside of it.
I'd say it weighs about as much as an Xbox One controller.
There's no way. We'll put them on a scale. I have them here at the end.
It might be a little more, but it's definitely heavier than a PS4 controller.
The other thing is I'm looking at it, are the posts you have in there 2 different heights on those analog nubs?
Yeah, I put the taller one here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can notice this, so you can define the height on your analog
Yeah,
nub.
and another thing they're adding, which they don't have yet because you haven't paid enough for it, they're going to have where you can buy different posts if you want longer ones or shorter. You can pay $20. Yeah, hold on. That would be kind of cool. You could do like Pac-Man.
Yeah, what the hell?
They're going to provide different D-pads and stuff like that. But for the price, you think they would have thrown more in.
Yeah, whatever.
But I like the controller a lot. If you just have your 10-year-old playing games and throws this controller, don't bother. You're a middle-aged guy. It's going to get his money where it's going to play for a couple years. It might be worth it, but other than that, now
you got to play for a while. Though. I'll be honest with you. Steve's dancing around the problem with this controller.
I'm praying that it works for PS5.
It is super expensive, ladies and gentlemen. Steve made a serious investment into this piece of hardware. It is not for anyone under the age of 22, I would argue.
Yeah.
You have to really know that this is it, because that money for value, you really got to put some serious time in on that unit.
If you liked the Xbox controller, Xbox Elite controller, this is basically PlayStation's version. So the only thing I didn't like about the Xbox Elite controller, they had those long triggers under it.
They love those. They do. They love
Yeah, but my
those.
fingers kept hitting them on accident.
Okay.
So I end up taking them off. With those extra buttons, my fingers don't hit them on accident. So I don't know if it's just my fat fingers or whatever it is. But there you go. Astro C40s. Take a look at them online. You'll get a kick out of those. And next we're going to be Reliance 30 amp 10 circuit transfer switch.
Yeah, so
for $350.
A lot. It's that time of year, folks, where big storms are heading in and starting to mollywop everyone's neighborhood. So what a lot of people do is they get backup generators and they do them incorrectly. So there's basically this Reliance 30 amp 10 circuit transfer switch will allow you to do. It'll put a port on the back of your house, and you put this in line with your circuit breaker panel. So this is the safe way to run your house off of a generator. So within this panel, you basically, the wire that normally goes into your circuit breaker, you disconnect it from the circuit breaker, run it over to the transfer switch, and then back from the transfer switch into the breaker now. So it just cuts the middle of it, okay? And then on this transfer switch, you basically have line, off, and then generator. So you could take these 10 circuits, flip them over to the generator side, and then now when you plug your generator into your house, it just runs those 10 circuits. It's the correct way, ladies and gentlemen, to run your house off of a generator. So it's like a $350 transfer switch. And the nice part is you could do this yourself. It's a complete DIY project. It's not, like it sounds way more complicated than it actually is. So you can go online to like YouTube and see how to do like a really good video. Reliance Controls, the people who make this particular box, has a step-by-step tutorial on how to do it all. And it's not rocket science, people.
You already have this?
I already have it. It's already installed in my house.
Where'd you get it from?
I bought it from Home Depot, but it's available at Lowe's. It's like a $350 item. But the nice part is it's the safe way. You don't want to backfeed your panel. What a lot of hillbillies do is they take a dryer plug out in their garage, take their big boy generator, and just plug it back in. The problem with that is you're backfeeding a panel. So what happens is as the power is restored in your home, you're basically sending voltage the opposite direction. So if I'm a line worker on your line fixing it, I've got voltage now coming back from your house. It's technically against code to backfeed a panel. You're not allowed to do it. You have to have a breaker situation where you literally deny your power flow in the other direction. No one does any of this. And this is why I'm trying to talk to you folks. Get out there, get these transfer switches. It's not a crazy install. It's an afternoon of install. Put it in, put the port on the back of your house. It's just like a little box. And then you can run your generator right to it, clip it in, and now I just turn those circuits from the line side over to the generator side, and I'm running off my generator without a problem. It's a really nice device, and it's the right way to do it, people. It's the one thing I wanted to talk about, because don't backfeed your panel.
I'm just curious. Since you've gotten your generator, how many times have you lost power?
We've had 3 issues that were pretty major, and we just chug right along here. I just run. So all I do is I run the generator at the apron of the garage. I open the garage door. I have an override where I can pull my garage door open, even though there's no power. And I run and turn the generator on in my garage door, and then I just run a big cord right to the port and the Reliance transfer switch, go in my basement, flip them all over. And then I leave my back porch, which is one of the circuits that remain on the DTE side. As soon as the light comes on my back porch, I know, hey, I can switch back over. So then all I do is go back to that transfer switch and go back to the line. I keep my refrigerator going, my furnace going. I can't run my air conditioning because obviously it's a pretty high watt item. But like my internet, my televisions, all that stuff keeps running. Like right now, we could lose power at this house and we could still record this podcast. It's a great device, and it sounds very complicated, but if you actually look into it, it's the right way to feed your house power when you lose the power out. So those Reliance transfer switches are fantastic devices.
All right, there you go. Don't lose your power.
When we first moved in, it was like literally like I lived in the Middle East somewhere. I mean, we were losing the power at this house in astronomical amount. And of course, as I continued to like work on the infrastructure of my house, the problem kind of went away. You know what I mean? But I'm still ready for it in a Boy Scout fashion.
It's gonna happen. I'm here.
I'm ready. I fired up. What made me think about it, and the reason why I'm talking to you folks about it today, I fired up the sky around here looked really ominous. Yeah, so I pulled the generator out, and I like to run it once a month, and I just fired it up just in case we got it. We just went grocery shopping today. There's nothing worse than like a big storm rolling in, and you know your fridge is full. You're like, dude, I'm screwed.
Yeah, that is the worst. So there you go. The Astro C40s and the Reliance 30 amp 10 circuit transfer switch. That's a mouthful. So now we're going to go time for the news. It wouldn't be anything different if we didn't talk about some kind of streaming in some form of way. Disney buys out the remainder of Hulu.
Yeah, so this is a big deal because so basically now they bought out, I believe Comcast was the other major owner.
Comcast was the last chunk, and they bought them out. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to continue showing TV shows from other networks. I don't know,
like NBC and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe they will. Maybe they.
This
won't.
is where Steve, you've said in the past that you think that Disney is going to push a more mature content towards the Hulu. Is your theory?
Yeah. Well, Ghost Rider's already coming to it.
Yeah.
And you still got The Handmaid's Tale, which is pretty, mature. Mature, even though it seems to be coming real with Georgia and Alabama. That's a different subject for a different podcast. But Disney's bought them out. What's going to happen? I imagine they're going to package it in with the Disney Plus somehow, where you can get both for $10 a month.
Bet you can get all 3: ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
So Disney making their moves again. So I don't know if Netflix still not nervous, but AT&T again. That's not in the notes, but they're pulling
They're pulling Friends because they want to do their own thing.
Yeah, so it's getting chippy out there. It's getting chippy. I don't know what's going to happen to Netflix, but as long as I can watch old episodes of Plane, Trains, and Automobiles.
Episodes.
I'm sorry, movie. That was on HBO. Now, the other one, a lot of us around here, Gabe, Bill, myself, we always loved the NCAA football games. They were almost better than Madden in a lot of ways because you had so many teams, you had the coaching carousel, you had recruiting. So it was different and fresh and more fresh, it felt, than Madden kind of got that stale formula over and over again. And they had the option that actually worked sometimes, not all the time. So recently, they're looking into the NCAA is looking into an athletic compensation for player likenesses usage. So what that means is they're trying to find a way where they can pay students a little bit.
As you put Bo Jackson on Auburn, you know what I mean? Like you can okay.
Well, I think it'd be a more current player than Bo Jackson.
So when you put Dabo Sweeney on the sideline.
Well, not even him. They're after his players. Yeah. So whoever the hell. I can't think. Why am I going blank? Shane Patterson at Michigan. Yeah. He'll get a couple shekels for being on there. So they're working on that, which then, of course, leads to EA Sports looking back into maybe coming back with the basketball and the football NCAA game, especially the football.
You got to admit that the whole thing was very incorrect and unfair. You know what I mean? Like you definitely knew who you were playing as, and it was bull that they didn't make any money. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. But then the NCAA had the rules where you couldn't pay the players. So now I think it should be a set amount for all the kids, whatever they work out.
So in other words, don't be a star.
The star doesn't get $1 million, and then everyone else gets $100. So it should be set amount no matter what your level of play is. I know people are going to argue, well, with the stars are the ones, whatever. But anyways, so they are working on it. So maybe 3 to 4 years.
What is a reasonable number to Steve for those players? What do you think is a reasonable number? Because I would assume how many college athletes play football that would be represented in those games.
Well,
now, would you get into a thing where there's just a Big Ten college football game?
They tried that, but they couldn't get. They tried to do just the major. Right after they lost the license, EA tried to get the SEC, Big Ten. It fell apart though. Certain divisions wouldn't sign up.
So what to you is reasonable to pay that kid?
So you're what is there? 110 schools or whatever that's going to be in football. 65 kids a school. That's a lot of money.
So what I'm saying is, what do you think a kid from a U of M should clear?
Well, I don't know, 1,000?
1,000, 1,500 is what I thought.
Yeah, somewhere on that. Maybe a free copy of the game.
But then here's the question:
they're all gamers. So
what if you don't?
An Xbox
what if you don't sign?
What do you mean?
What if I'm a kid? What if I'm a safety from Clemson, and I say don't use my likeness?
Well, all right, then we're putting strong safety number 10 in the game, but if it's a black kid, we're going to make him white, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? It's a very touchy,
but if it would
crazy
be free
subject.
If I don't see why kids wouldn't want it, especially from
But what if they
schools.
feel to your
and
point,
a lot of them are players.
What if you're a Shea Patterson who feels why does the rando kid from Marshall make the same loot that I do?
Yeah, well,
it's sticky, man. I'm just saying, it
could get sticky, but they're trying to work around it, and I just want my college football back.
Do whatever you got to do, man.
Just give me back my college football.
What was the last year they made one?
It was 2013.
Okay, so it's not that long.
Xbox 360, so that was the last. And then PS3 is what the last system that came out for.
So not in this current gen.
No, not at all. It's been gone since. So all thanks to those guys that had to do that lawsuit, bastards.
See what you did.
No. Couldn't you just cut them a check and make them go away like Conor McGregor did?
Yeah.
Now I get no college football. I guess that was the only one that kind of sold. None of the others. They tried other college sports, and the basketball sold a little bit, but nowhere close to what the football would do. Football is the only one that made money. So now Charles has always said he loved the game Moss.
It's one of the best VR game and VR experiences you can have.
Yeah, and it's like a puzzle game, right?
Yeah, you're an oversight. You watch a mouse on within these levels and have to problem solve the mouse through it.
Yeah, and Oculus Quest is the new VR.
Oculus Quest just came out. Facebook had a big thing. The big push is trying to get these untethered VR experiences.
Right. And so Moss is getting new levels for that headset. Now, I thought it was just for that headset, not Charles's headset, but it's coming out to all versions.
Yep.
So
Moss
is getting more levels.
Take my money,
you'll buy
man.
those.
Take my money.
How much you want to pay for new levels?
I'll pay
Moss?
$25 for that, and I only paid, I want to say $30 for the game. It's that good to me. I love that game.
Oh, the best VR experience for Charles.
Hands down, it is some of the most unique things you could do.
So there you go. Moss getting new levels. If you're
Super
into VR, Charles highly recommends it. Now, this
next one was huge.
So Microsoft and Sony are playing nice with each other.
They're going. They signed a thing that they will interchange tech with one another.
Yes, and it's all to help online gaming.
Correct. So Sony wants to help with the downloading of purchases and all that, and updates and all that kind of stuff. Now, what I thought was neat was on the reverse what Microsoft got. Microsoft wants lenses from Sony. They want the imagery tech so they can start working on more Kinect stuff for enterprise. Wow. That was interesting. That was a whole other next level. Whoa!
And they get a big corporate account using their cloud. What is it?
Yeah, and they'll come on, hit my servers, baby. Yeah.
So basically, Microsoft's got these big cloud servers, and they call them Azure. How do they say?
Azura. Yeah.
And a lot of major big companies use these, and so Sony's going to be one of them. So hopefully this will improve Sony's online services.
That's what they're hoping. So because Sony's such a Japanese-based company, there's the latency attached to where a lot of their infrastructure is. So what they're trying to do is get that. It's all to combat the Google that's the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room. So they're trying to get closer here so that the infrastructure that they need to run their cloud gaming services are a lot closer, because you could never hit the motherland in Japan with it.
It's kind of interesting because Microsoft also has done some stuff now with Nintendo, and now they're doing it with Sony.
Microsoft kind of wants out of the hardware business.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. It looks
Microsoft, as much as you, and I'll touch on a Google dip out coming up here in a second, as much as you rip on Google for jumping in, jumping out of stuff, Microsoft does it a lot, especially with hardware, because they used to have hardware, then they got back. Now they're back with the Surface for a little while, and it all depends on how it does, and they'll quickly just bounce out of it. It's crazy.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Is it Microsoft phones?
I actually had a Windows phone, and I liked it. I had a Nokia that I enjoyed.
Wow. I didn't know that. You're the one person on Earth.
I really did. I enjoyed it. I don't know.
So now, what were you going to say about Google killing off Works?
So the point, it works with Nest. So this is a big thing of their home automation. And I put in the notes here, I apologize. This came out 2 weeks ago, and I didn't touch on it last podcast, which from being a home automation nerd, I apologize to the community at Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm sorry.
So many people are going to hold you to the fire.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sorry, folks. But so Google doing what Google always does, and Steve's touched on it in the past with his concerns of Stadia, works with Nest, was their competitor for smart things. So in other words, if you could certify products to work with Nest, they wanted Nest to be your central hub for all of your home automation wares, okay? Now they're actually getting out of that, and which sucks, because if you went and you got into the whole Google infrastructure, I luckily didn't. I have Alexa, and I have the SmartThings stuff. It's really bumming me out, man, because you want people to adopt this technology,
and then you bail.
Yeah, and then you just dip on them. It's exactly what Steve says Google does, and it's just one of those things that's completely not kosher, man. You just can't do that to people.
Works with Nest. Now, I have Google stuff at home, and I've never used that. Is that for the thermostat?
Yeah, so in other words, more of the home automation stuff. Yeah, so Nest was their central location of it all. And they're just it was supposed to spark the initial of all these things working together. And then in typical Google fashion, to Steve's credit, was well, we're kind of over it. Dude, you can't do that to people.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, and that's kind of bogus. So that was just, I wanted to bring that up, that if you're getting into home automation, and I often talk about it here on the podcast, you probably don't want to look towards Google products, is what I would honestly argue.
Yeah, great. That's all I have. They're not going to bail on the speakers and stuff.
No, because they can sell you stuff through those.
Yeah, that's
but it's just what it is it's more of the third party. So in other words, if I have Lutron Casita light switches, it's not easily to implement those into the Google ecosystem now. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All their first-party stuff is going to continue to work, but if you wanted to have a GE light switch that will work with your Nest stuff, that doesn't work. Does that make sense? And that's just kind of the whole way that this stuff works the best is when they all kind of work together. Because Steve knows and I know all too well, if it doesn't implement easy, it's super annoying. Yeah. It's just if it doesn't play nice with one another, you get driven nuts.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah. Like the Philips Hue lights, I got to have an app for that, and then I have to have the Google Home app, and I have to connect the two.
Yeah.
Make sure they like.
Whereas,
each other.
like, you just want to pare it all down.
Yeah,
like, I just want it to work.
Just open this app, find the device, and they're good to go.
And the Alexa stuff does a lot of that.
Yeah, I just went with the Google route because I think I got it on sale. And the music, I have a lot of music on Google Music.
And like I said, the first party Google stuff is great, but if you limit the home automation stuff, that's super bogus. Is all I'm saying.
Totally. If you have a lot of music on iTunes, and you want to move it all to the cloud, or you wanted to use it, so what I ended up doing is I don't know if I've said this before on the podcast. There's a Google Desktop type thing where you can connect your Google Music account to your iTunes. Yep. So anytime I buy a new song on iTunes, it automatically goes.
It flips A to B.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I keep the iTunes because the one thing I don't even Amazon Music or Google Music. I know I'm old school, whatever. I like to burn a CD every once in a while. iTunes will do it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that'll do it. Nothing else will.
And you're a dinosaur.
I know I'm a dinosaur, but Michelle needs it for work, and so
she needs CDs for work.
Yeah, because she's in a basement and no reception really for cell reception in the basement, and her patients like to listen to music. So I buy a lot of new songs or whatever on iTunes, and then once every 3-4 months she burns a CD.
Rifle off a CD.
So
how much do blank CDs cost at this point?
I don't know. I've had the same stack for about 5 years. I mean, it's got to be $10, right?
Yeah,
I bought a big thing like this. God,
the sleeve with all of them just stacked up.
Yeah. The spindle or whatever. You just pull them out. They get I got to blow them off at the time. But yeah, so there you go. Now I had a couple rants, and I know I'm old and I'm out of touch on prices a lot of times. But we were going to go to Comic-Con this weekend, and I kind of crapped on it a little bit. We have a local Comic-Con here, and next week Raven and Holly.
It's not even just. It's a big deal. Novi Comic-Con's a big deal.
Yeah, it's probably in the top 10 of Comic-Cons in the country.
Yeah,
probably.
I'd argue that.
I mean, number one
takes place at the show place or something like that. Rock Financial.
Yeah, the top 3 are San Diego's number 1, followed by Chicago.
Chicago's right there, yeah,
and then New York. New York's a pretty big one too.
But Detroit's there. I'm telling you, that Novi one's doing solid.
Cleveland's got a big one, I think, too. And
it's a license to print money, man.
Yeah. Okay, I'm really going to date myself. Back in the day, there was on Michigan Avenue, right by the Dearborn City Hall and all that, they used to have Comic-Cons there. It was $13 or $10. You go, and you know what was there? It's the weirdest thing. Comics. There's a lot of comics. You can go from table to table, get great deals on comics.
Yeah.
There was no celebrities. I mean, maybe a local guy or a local wrestler or something, or maybe some couple.
You're welcome back
artists.
on the podcast, Rhino. When you want to
go. I mean, and some local comic artists and stuff like that. But now they've evolved, and that's cool. But now they have a lot of D and E level celebrities, a lot of wrestlers. There's always a lot of wrestlers, and they were going to have people from The Office, but then everyone you wanted to see from The Office canceled.
Yeah, bailed. They all did because Heather was super intrigued about it.
Yeah, Kevin and Creed, and that's all that showed up when they had a list of like 10 of them. And
at one point, Rainn Wilson was on it, and I totally would have went just for Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, and then he canceled.
Yeah,
and then Charlie Hunnam was probably the biggest name on there.
Yeah,
he's Shawn Michaels. Half the wrestlers canceled for this one.
Really?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio can't. Rey Mysterio, what's he doing?
And to your point, how much was it at the door for this Comic-Con?
It's $30.
Yeah.
And if you
does not get you any interaction with any celebrities. So that's $30 into the show floor.
So I have me, Michelle, and Holly. They both enjoy it too.
It's $100 a day.
Yeah, well, yeah, and if you buy the tickets online, there's a $2 processing fee.
It's $100.
$96 before, and you got to pay $5 parking when you get there. Don't forget that.
It's pretty crazy.
The price of autographs have gone up, not $20 anymore. They're $40. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So that
I don't pay for autographs.
So when Brandon got that autograph,
that was still funny.
From that guy, we had to pay
Eric Roberts, man, breaking the leg.
Because I do keep an eye on him, and if Kevin Sorbo shows up at one of these Comic-Cons, I'm taking that DVD.
Of course you are.
I'm getting that autograph.
He's a huge Sorbo fan.
And then I'm gonna give it back to you for Christmas. There you go. But Yeah, so they've just gotten ridiculous. And I understand. Okay, so now you got celebrities, and then like half the booths.
So if you're into whoever's going to be, like, let's say Dwight Schrute was there, right? You're into, like you said, $96 for you and 2 others to go. Then you're talking another $50, $60 just to meet Rainn Wilson.
Yes.
You're talking about $150, $200 day. And that's before you buy any rando stuff at any of the booths.
And the thing with Rainn Wilson, he's a bigger name.
Yeah.
Sad, he's the biggest name. What I've seen, like, who's the guy from Star Trek with the beard, number 2 or whatever the hell he is, number 1? I don't know. Whatever. They put the big guys like behind curtains.
Yeah, specifically so you can't do a drive-by to see.
Yeah, and then you get up there, you only got maybe 15 seconds. You stop, you pose, you picture, beat it, buddy.
Yeah.
And so it's not fun to even meet them.
Heather's
the
friend,
guys like Robert,
Eric Roberts.
Eric
man.
Roberts, you can walk up to him, nobody cares.
So Heather's friend, the Supernatural people were there. And Heather's friend is a big Supernatural fan. She had she just posted like 4 or 5 pictures of 4 or 5 different Supernatural people. Dude, so you're talking $40 per plus her cost to get in.
She didn't post pictures from a distance. She
was next to him. Yeah,
the only one we paid for just because Michelle had such a crush. It was so funny. Jason Priestley.
Yeah,
and it was only $20 at the time.
Yeah, okay.
And so, but now it's gone up another 20. So screw Jason Priestley.
I don't know, man. I definitely, if Arnold's somewhere, you know what I mean? I'm definitely into it. And there's definitely people that I'm like, oh, man. But I think that working at the hotel, I've got a different kind of MO when it comes to
I've never
celebrities.
been a celebrity whore.
Yeah,
I've never run up and get an autograph.
I just have learned I just can't. It's
the only
neat to see from a distance, you know what I mean? But it's like, I can still keep myself together.
Yeah,
but if it's Arnold, I might have a whole other conversation. Or Sylvester Stallone.
We went to the MMA thing, and Tommy Hearns is there. That's cool. Okay,
it's
Tommy
neat
Hearns.
to go, oh, man, I saw that.
I saw Tommy Hearns. And then my wife's like, well, did you go up and get a picture? What do I do a picture of Tommy Hearns?
Who wants to look at that?
Yeah, I know. This is a fat guy with Tommy Hearns. Yeah. I've never been a huge fan of that. Now, the Kevin Smith shows up. I might have to go see Kevin Smith.
There's a very short list of people that I'm like, okay,
Kevin Smith,
I got to check
Kevin Sorbo. One of those two show up. I just want Kevin Sorbo to autograph those DVDs. That's really now the Chicago one's coming up in August, and
that Chicago one's legit.
They get a little bit big. Well, the last time we went 4 years ago.
It's been that long since
3 or 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It was $60 then too.
Yeah.
But Holly just made it under the kid line. So
oh man,
we got 30 for her, then 60 and 6. So that was 150. If we go this year, it's going to cost me 180.
Wow,
plus $10 parking. So you're looking at $200 before I even see a celebrity.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a good time. The people are dressed up. Everyone's nice. It's almost more fun to take pictures with the weirdos that are dressed up.
Just the sightseeing of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tchotchkes and comics and T-shirts.
Like stickers.
You can buy
it.
They give you bags of free stuff.
If you're into comic book art, too, I'm sure Three's Wise Men Media with Tyler was there.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
they were there. And I buy a lot of comic book art. I do. They make the 11 by 17. I have a whole folder I can show you. I bring in. It's about $17 or $20.
Neat stuff. If that's your hobby,
I like that stuff. But do I want to pay $200 to stick my?
That's
foot
the
in
thing,
there?
man. Geek culture kind of went mainstream.
Yeah,
that's the
unfortunately,
problem.
Mainstream means money.
Yeah,
where that same artist picture I could have got for $10 and $10. So I know I'm old and not in touch with prices. But bam, bro, they're really. Now, with that all being said, one year I'm going to end up in San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I got to get the tickets. They always sell super fast, but I'm going to end up there one of these years. And then I think I'll be done with Comic-Con. That would be the Mecca. I'll be done.
Okay. I did Comic-Con. I'm over it.
I've been to a bunch of them. I'm good. I saw Mexican Thor. But and the last thing, Charles, was I had some perspiration or whatever coming from my gas line. I told
precipitation, condensation.
We'll get it right eventually. And I need to redo my gas lines. Charles has been telling me for years I should have done, and I'm eventually going to do it this summer. But that's not the point. The point is, so I went to YouTube and I looked at some home improvement videos. This old house. They're professionals, and they were doing what you said.
Richard Thathui, the guy who does the plumbing stuff on there, is a very good plumber.
Is he a chubbier, bolder kind of guy? Yeah, that's who it was.
Amazing.
Doing gas line, and he
did. This Old House is a fantastic television show.
Yeah, and YouTube, they put the clips on. So they did a dryer installation and everything, and they did everything what you were saying. Have you ever I don't know why I go to YouTube, did you look at the comments?
Yeah.
Everyone becomes a professional.
Dude, it's bad on Instagram, too. Some of the most amazing things you'll see on Instagram are these dudes, and my hat's off to someone like Wiggs. I like to see when Wiggs does great work with his tile work and stuff like that. these drywall people that can do these drywall jobs, like they'll be in like these factories and stuff, and you'll just see the most amazing drywall work. But then you scroll down,
and you lose
then
all hope in
everyone
humanity.
has got a comment
Oh, my
on
God.
everything.
He
and-
did use a flexible vent hose.
as opposed to a rigid pipe.
Yeah. Oh, they gave him so much shit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that. I mean, the guy did if I'd have seen him, like, this is a pretty good damn professional
Dude,
job.
he's no joke.
Yeah, and it all. Oh my God!
But what
I
people
should have
don't-
used this, and this from this.
What they
program,
don't
this-
realize, though, is that, like, so that's in a different municipality. Local codes are different. TV shows are tough that way. So, like,
Yeah.
if I do work in Dearborn, it's not the same as in Boston, Massachusetts. It's just
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
same.
true, right.
Yeah, there's local codes and ordinances. So, in Richard's area where he was working, that could have been completely fine per code. So, you're breaking his balls.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he's just one. I watched a couple
Yeah,
videos.
yeah.
And then there's this other guy who's putting pipe dope on with his bare hands. Oh, they shredded him for that.
Oh.
Who could have Neanderthal does that with his bare hands? You have gloves and brushes for that, bro.
Oh my God! And then like they rate like how clean they work and stuff.
man.
It is tough. man.
There are
But I mean, I'm
brutal.
just as guilty. Like I said, like I definitely have my
Yeah, but
opinions.
you don't
on
sit
a
there
lot of
online
stuff.
typing comments out.
I
left
don't
and right.
comment on a lot of stuff, but yeah, it's tough. dude.
Those people get
Just
butchered.
internet in general is
I mean,
tough.
here you are putting a video out to help people out, and they're just shitting on you the whole time.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny.
It's a tough world with that, dude. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I always think about those drywallers because they're doing things that if you did some of the stuff they did, you would see just how hard it is to do this stuff. And I mean, they're skim coating like huge 30-foot long walls, and it's looking fantastic. And someone's in there going like, "You should have used a combo knife 8-inch." It's like, dude,
should have
man.
sanded it better, man. Look
Yeah,
at that.
it's crazy.
Where'd you
man.
get these guys from? Home Depot
Yeah,
parking lot?
as people are commenting on our videos
Yeah.
right now, going, "Oh, these two idiots talking about shit." Yeah, it's crazy.
So we ran a little long this week. But
Two
next
idiots
week
talking.
we got the girls back. We want Raven's going to give us a report, actually from Comic-Con,
Okay.
about how it went and what she enjoyed.
How many
about
$40 autographs she
it.
got?
Yeah, I'm going to guess.
Who
none.
was the big one that she wanted to go for? Do you know by chance? Can you
That
see?
we can ask her.
okay.
I don't know. I know she's into. Well, she loves Avengers and stuff, so
Okay.
she's really into comics and stuff. Because she was asking Holly, because she's known Holly's been to them before, and Holly's like, "No, that's cheap." But,
Nah.
but so we'll get that. We got
She had
a
to go spend
YouTube
10 and a half
contest.
hours at the fair.
And our summer movie, fair
Good talk.
marathon, yeah. And then we're gonna have our summer movie preview with the girls too, see what they want to see and what me and Charles will be into watching. So until next time, you can catch us on fatguysandlittlepodcast.com, Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Alexa, whatever you want. If it has sound coming out of it, you can get Fat Guys.
It just doesn't work with Nest.
Yeah,
That's
no
the-
Nest. Forget Nest. So until next time, we'll catch you later. This is Fat Guys on a Little Podcast.